You turn up my headphones.
Oh, I'll turn them all the way up. I think you might need to get your hearing checked. What's going on with the camera?
I have like severely bad hearing.
No, Phil, I got great hearing.
He always needs me to check his headphones.
Phil always has my headphones down so I can't hear anything.
I have all the headphones set exactly the same.
Do you really?
Yeah. Which one is it? Here, we'll do it during the song.
No, it's good. Now that you're talking in your mic, it's not bad.
Oh, you just like to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Well, I'm glad we got sorted out.
Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. Come fill your time. This pot's for all. From the Finger Lakes, join in the call. Learn something new about the Cuca Trail. Upstate New York, every episode I tell. Who's there? It's rare. Who's there? It's rare. It's rare.
He's actually from Maryland.
Maryland?
Yeah. He lives in Geneva, but he's from Maryland.
Does he like go around?
They transport. They love this place. They transplanted. I don't know what the right word is. Transplanted. Well, they lived in Japan together for like 10 years.
Transporting means
and then
like taking something.
They brought something with them. Yeah, they brought their stuff, I guess.
So they transported their stuff.
That's what everyone does when they move, though.
They're transplants.
Transplants.
Not transients.
Well, shout out to Kyle Fitzpatrick.
Kyle, yeah.
It's very catchy.
Yeah, he
very catchy tune.
Wrote it
I
and
haven't
sang
seen him
it
in like a year.
in like what?
Like
15 minutes? 20 minutes?
Yeah. He's like, oh, give me 5 minutes with my guitar and a piece of paper.
That's a professional.
Yeah, it's crazy. Aren't you? Did you write us what do you call it? The song at the end of the show?
An outro.
Did you write us an outro yet?
So I wanted to last night, and I got on my my Pro Tools, and it's expired.
Oh,
it expired.
no.
Yeah, I gotta buy it yearly. I do the yearly instead of just buying it all at one time.
Yeah.
And I got on last night, and
is it better to do it yearly?
They say that you save money, but I don't know.
Oh, you mean rather than doing it like monthly?
Yeah,
like on an installment.
Yeah. I just do a 1 year installment, and maybe I should do monthly because I'd get more updates, get monthly updates, and let me know when I'm out. But,
well, yeah,
I did the 1 year, not even thinking about it. And
they didn't warn you?
They probably did, but I don't check my emails as much as I should.
Okay. Well, Jordan Bush, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Maybe we should start out by explaining to everybody why you have Pro Tools.
Or
and what Pro Tools is.
Are you related to like George Bush?
Oh God, I knew this was going to come up. He's like a very late uncle.
Is he? There you go.
Yep.
So
really?
No, I'm not related to George Bush.
Damn it!
I got that so much in high school.
Just Jet.
Do you know anything about oil?
Do I know anything about oil? Some people think it's bad. But yeah, I got Pro Tools. I want to say probably like 4 or 5 years ago. So when I first became an artist, started writing, I figured I would go for the best software they had out there. And at the time it was Pro Tools, and still is pretty good software, but it's a little pricey, but
is it better than like GarageBand or Audition?
In my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is it easier to work with, or what's it?
Pro Tools is extremely hard to work with.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very it's almost like a different language, you know. Like everything from like EQs to verb, and I don't know. It's
I liked Audition. I worked with that a little bit, and I thought that worked pretty nice.
What'd you do with Audition?
I edited some audio. I actually edited that intro song a little bit to take out, because there was a lot of background noise. He didn't record that in a studio at all, so I took out some of the background noise and sped it up. Like
we got to get him in to record that professionally.
Yeah, we'll get him on the mics.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a good software for me. I've lately been going to Ithaca to get my music done. It's probably about the same price actually, so I could probably get rid of Pro Tools if I wanted to, because I don't really use it as much as I probably should be using it.
Mm-hmm.
But No, the guy I go to, it's Rep Studios in Ithaca. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No.
No. So I've before COVID, I was going there to get all my songs recorded, and he's a pretty good guy too. So worked out good.
Have you dropped a diss track yet?
Not aimed at anybody.
Oh,
Yet, but-
we need some diss tracks, wrote. I think we're trying to start a rivalry. We don't know with who. We got to pick someone.
Dis. I thought you said disc. I'm like,
No,
it took me a
diss.
second.
Diss. DISS. We need it. We want a diss track. We don't know who we're gonna pick, but we want some ammo at them.
I mean, every song that I do though,
Yeah.
yeah.
there's
You know, we have a rivalry with WFLR.
Oh, we
really?
do. Okay.
It's right
there we go.
Wow,
Diss
okay.
track time.
a lot of things rhyme with WFLR, so I could make that work.
Oh boy. Yeah. Phil
You
goes,
just end with R at the end.
Just end with R.
Phil goes, we're gonna have to, we have to start a rivalry. It's gonna help the viewership. And I go, but we like everyone. He's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, we'll still just have a rivalry. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's okay to like your rivals.
Yeah, we could write a song about how much you love your rivals. Just say nothing but.
I
good
love
things.
you guys, but we're a little bit better. That one time you sneezed on air.
Me do it, as Newbie says. So,
Yeah, can you don't freestyle though.
No,
No.
I'm not a freestyler. What does that mean? Me do it
I don't know.
He wants you to write a diss track about
Yeah.
him right now.
about Newbie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he? What is he? Well, first of all, what's his middle name? How do you pronounce it?
I don't know.
That can be, I mean, that you just started off your first
Yoink.
lyric.
Yeah,
It's what is that? What does that little thing over the O mean?
It means it's Irish.
It's an asterisk.
But
isn't it?
but what's it do? I know. I mean, but what's it do to the when you say it?
It makes it silent. So it's
I don't know.
Oh,
It's Ian.
Is it?
Am I right, Doobie? Or
Ian? Is it
Newbie?
Ian?
it's Ian. Maybe it makes it silent. I don't know. Anyways, for people that don't know, Jordan sings, raps.
A little bit of everything.
Do you play any instruments?
I used to play guitar, and a little bit of piano. And I grew up playing drums mostly, but I just always loved music, man. So
Nice.
if I wasn't rapping, I'm singing. Oh, Newbie said that's correct. I think on the middle name.
It's Ian?
It's I think the O is silent, like Jordan said.
Cool.
He went to Penn Yen, so he had a little better education than us at Dundee.
I was
So
just
I'll,
gonna-
I'll
Wait, this is how YouTube says to pronounce it.
We are looking at how to pronounce this traditional Irish name.
Wait, Newbie's
How do you go
Irish
about
too?
pronouncing it?
thought he's
Not like
Italian.
it's spelled, but simply Owen.
Owen.
Owen? I was close.
Is it Ian or is it Owen?
But that doesn't have the apostrophe over the O.
So that means the E is
Yeah,
silent.
you're right. Maybe I got the wrong one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they have
Maybe I
that
got the
little
wrong.
cha-ching over the O.
I'm more used to reading umlauts and stuff like that.
What's
It's the two little dots. You know,
why do you read them?
I went to Sweden, and so a lot of the stuff related back to that. There's a lot of umlauts in Swedish.
What'd you think of the women in Sweden?
Didn't see that many of them. It was November. The ones that I saw were nice women,
Did you see like
very
mostly,
polite.
you see mostly Sweden men?
So you're not gonna
Didn't see
you're
a-
not gonna take the bait.
Well, we went there. We went there to play ice hockey. So yes,
So
I
just-
did see a lot of Swedish men.
And what'd you think of the Swedish men?
Very
Well,
aggressive.
w- They're decent at ice hockey.
Good. I imagine there's lots of ice there.
What about
Yeah,
what
they've
about
actually got these other games that are kind of cool. They've got this game called Bandy, and
Okay.
it's kind of like hockey but with less pads. And you play it on a sheet of ice that's like the size of a soccer field. And the nets are like the size of soccer goals. It might be soccer goals. They might just do it over top of soccer fields. I'm not sure. And then they've got, instead of a puck, it's like a big wiffle ball stuffed with like wet tissue paper to make it heavier. And I don't know, it's kind of neat to watch.
Interesting.
It's like
It sounds like a game you like make up when you're drunk,
it's like a cross between hockey and soccer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
and a little bit of rugby because you said there's like less pads.
Yeah. Well, there's no pads in soccer.
Well, yeah, no pads.
except for the shin guards.
Yeah, but there's contact in this.
I'm
game.
not sure how much contact there is. I only saw a little bit of it. I was waiting out back for one of our hockey games to start, and I saw these guys out there, and I was like, "Wow, what is that?"
You see how he brought this up to avoid both questions I
Mhm.
asked. He's ready
Yeah.
to be a politician. He's slowly working his way there.
Yeah, Phil is very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
Very knowledgeable man.
He'd be a great politician.
That's not
Would you ever run for mayor
mayor of
here, Penyan?
Penyan.
the
yeah.
Penyan mayor.
Yeah, the Penyan mayor.
I don't think so. I think that I'm less suited for actually being a politician than I am for helping people.
Now, would you, when you were the mayor, would you want to be called mayor, or would you be like, "Is Phil okay"?
Phil.
You sure you
Just call me Phil.
I could
Yeah.
I could see you still being like, they'd be like Phil, you'd be like Mayor Phil.
All my students are always like, so I told my students at the beginning of class, like first day, I said, listen, inside the classroom, please just call me Phil. If you're just talking to me directly, just call me Phil. If we're out like in the hall and there's other if there's professors around and stuff, you can call me Mr. Rahr if you want. Just
Mr.
to
Rahr.
like keep it to make it professional, but like when we're talking to each other, just keep it,
Now, have any of them ever said Rahr?
collegial. No,
Rahr.
none of them.
Really?
So you've always just gotten rare? No one's ever mispronounced your
No, nobody ever does that.
my
They
first
don't.
No, none of my students, because I told them how to pronounce it on the first day. I was like, it's Phil Rahr.
Oh, so you don't even give them a chance to screw it up. You just as soon as you first see them, you're just like, it's rare.
Yeah. Every time I'd walk into a college classroom, my teacher would just already be work. I don't even think he'd tell us how to pronounce his name. He'd just be like, "Okay, assholes, open your book. Like, it's time."
Well, I actually care about my students. So.
Yeah. Well,
Uh-huh.
other teachers don't. Yeah.
And what do you teach?
Well, Alfred, right? That's what.
No.
That's what you get, right?
Finger Lakes.
OFLCC.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
what you get.
Yeah.
What do I teach?
yeah.
I actually just wrapped up my first semester of a class called KC 101. It's like an intro to being a college student, critical thinking, experiential learning, all wrapped in together. So a lot of different topics that are covered. It's kind of, it's an interesting thing to talk about, I think. I learn a lot. They learn a lot. I've taught some anatomy courses in the past, but man, it's a whole different beast. I feel like this was harder. The material for that was way harder. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know if it's any harder.
For this that you teach now.
Yeah, I feel like this was harder.
As a
This-
teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been easier because it's like,
Not with you. Because
Right.
if you're allowed freedom, you can definitely overthink some things. So I know you.
just-
I know
just
you
try to be
well enough.
thorough. I just try to be thorough.
to how you are. If you're left without guidelines, like you're like, oh well, and I know how you are because you're like you got to be almost a perfectionist. I'm telling you.
yeah, no, I
it's-
did go far above and beyond with some of the stuff I did.
That's why if you have course material, I feel like you'd be a little more grounded. If it's up to you.
Yeah, if there was a book I was teaching, that's the thing with anatomy. I was teaching a book. With this, each week I was coming up with the material.
You're pretty much just winging it.
No, well, sort
More
of.
than you would with a structure.
Yeah, I'm not teaching a book. I'm teaching debate and critical thinking, pluralism, diversity of thought,
What did you
experiential learning, like all these different things.
what did you graduate with? Like with what degree?
What
Like what'd you major in?
I have from undergrad, I have a bachelor's degree in biology, and then I have a master's degree in athletic training.
It's pretty impressive.
It is. Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's better than what I majored in.
That was 10 years ago. I've done a lot since then. So
Yeah.
so that's kind of, it's in the rear view. It definitely helped prepare me for this. Really glad I chose Keuka College because the class that I taught this semester, I took a class that was very similar to that 20 years ago, 18 years ago, whatever. And I think that was a lot of the foundation of how I've improved the way that I operate. So,
Did you do it all online?
That would have been awesome. Online college.
you mean this fall?
Oh,
No.
damn it.
I did the first half in person, and then when we all got sent home, then we obviously went remote. So it was hard though, because it's hard, different people don't know about this, but and you don't think about it. I had students that were like, well, I don't understand why we have to do it this way. And then as soon as I explain it, oh, okay. That people, even at the college level, different people have different access to different things, right? So
Yeah.
when they got sent home, they lost a level of kind of equity and equality that is really important in academia. So when they went home, some of them don't have internet at their house. Some of them don't own their own computer. Maybe they share one with their family. Maybe they only use the computers at the library or at the lab. Maybe they're going back and forth between parents' houses. Like, there are a lot of things that make it more difficult for them to be able to, operate on an even playing field. And being on campus levels that a lot. So when they get sent home, it makes it really difficult. And so one of the things that I did, I tried to do 1 or 2 classes where we all met like on a video chat, but that's not really fair because a lot of them can't be there. A lot of them can't do that and have their technology work. So I recorded a couple sessions. I gave them work to do, and then they could communicate with me later.
Everyone has smartphones, so they could tap in on their phone.
I don't know if they all do, and even if they do, like,
Jordan
what if they
wants
don't
to-
have data?
He's going to hold these people accountable.
But what if they don't
Yeah.
have data?
Wi-Fi.
And some of them, when they're home, they have to work. So some of them, their problem was that when we were meeting, they were working, and they were having to do the work later. So
Yeah.
I know this is school should take the priority, like it's not an excuse, but nonetheless, anything that we can do to make it so that they still get the value out of it while making it so that everybody can participate,
Yeah.
I think is the
And
important thing.
Jesse, you went to FLCC. you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. And like with community colleges is more than a university. You get people like, you get middle-aged students that are working, or, people have kids and they have a lot more going on than just 18-year-olds,
Yeah.
just doing their course and sports, whatever. So
Yeah, it's funny how many people I had in my class that were in their like 40s and like 50s, older than the teacher sometimes teaching the
Yeah.
course. It was pretty
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
my first, I went to TC3 before Finger Lakes.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And
That's a party school.
yeah. Yeah. I still have a party bill there that
I'm
I
sure.
need to pay off. But
Jesus.
yeah, my first English class, I go in there and there was like 2. One guy was, I think he said he was 54, and the other one was, I think, like 49, 48, 49. And this is me coming into college thinking it's just going to be all idiots my age. But
Yeah.
no, there's actually adults out there that are trying to
Yeah.
better themselves and get a degree. So,
Big time.
It's
It's a growing demographic, I think, is people realizing, holy crap, the thing that I've been doing isn't working or isn't what I want to keep doing. Especially now, if you're out of a job, if you lost your job during this, why wouldn't you try to get more education right now?
If you could at a decent price.
Right. If you can, and you know what, right now in New York State, they just started a program where you can do online courses for free.
Sorry about the music, everybody. Turn this phone
You
off.
can do online courses for free in New York State right now if you've been
are you kidding me?
affected by this, if you've been displaced from your job or anything like that.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
My student debt's on pause right now because of this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't think I have to make a payment until like January.
I'm getting close to the end of mine.
Are you like paying it off?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank God. Well, not.
What's
a
your
long
guys'
story.
stance on college? Do you like, so say you have a kid, he's 18, doesn't really know what he wants to do. Are you going to like push college on him, or because I don't think, like, especially now in 2020, I don't think college is as important as it was back then. I think there's a lot of other ways you can become successful.
There are.
Phil knows how I feel about college, so we talk about it. But
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the only reason I went to college is because I did it for like nothing. Like I had scholarships and everything, and
Oh, nice.
I just wrote one check and I was done. Yeah, it was like quick, easy. I wouldn't have gone. Yeah, so, but I guess some people don't. I might have had a little more opportunities than most, but I mean, I did it and became a corrections officer, which I needed a degree, a 2-year degree, because I wanted to be a cop. But,
yeah.
So,
I used to want to be a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How things change, Jordan.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in middle school. I remember wanting to be a police officer, and now I'm a rapper. So.
Rapper. Dang it.
So the college I work for, New York Times. So here's my opinion on college. I mean, part of it anyway. There are a lot of things. But the New York Times did an article and ranked Keuka College, where I work, in the top 10% for economic mobility of graduates. So what that means is people who go there. I mean, a lot of them come from different economic backgrounds. We've got some that are more well off. We've got a lot more that are kind of those blue collar kids. And getting a degree in occupational therapy or education or criminal justice, maybe.
I hope not.
Well,
That'd be a stupid career to take at this point.
sure.
What?
Yeah.
Criminal justice?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Getting a degree in biology and then, finding something cool to do with it, whatever, those different programs that we have make it so that, you can be somebody who's, parents didn't really have much to be able to give them, but then if they're able to get through school there, they could change, their life.
There is a lot of help out there, like with financial aid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think problem with criminal justice that I have is of course, cops are getting bombarded with a lot of BS. Some of them deserving, a lot of them not. But the main problem is when you focus on something as small as criminal justice, you don't leave yourself open, right? Because now you're just saying, well, I want to work. I definitely want to have something to do with the justice system, and there's no way out, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I'm sure Phil has some that he's like really, you want to talk about like what he does, being an athletic trainer. I'm sure a lot of it has to do with one of his degrees, but a biology degree. I mean, you can go a lot of places with that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
The only thing was when I felt like when I was doing that, when I was getting that major, I liked it. I thought, man, this is going to make it so I can do all these different things. And then when I got to the end, I felt all of a sudden boxed in, and
Really?
I felt like, oh my God, you know what? Like what? I started looking for jobs. I started looking for, okay, what job can I get with a biology degree that's going to be a good job? And I'm looking at these like biologist jobs and stuff like that, right? And they all want you to have a master's or a doctorate. It's like it boxes you in. And there are a lot of options where you don't have to have that, but the ones I was looking at, they all wanted you to have more education. So it's like, what does a bachelor's degree in biology qualify you for? Qualifies you for more school. So what happened to me was I had some good scholarships. I was good in high school. I was good in college.
Did you play sports?
I played sports. It doesn't really matter.
But it was an academic scholarship.
Yeah. So, well, it was a leadership scholarship. Academic was part of it. Extracurricular, including sports, was part of it, but it wasn't for athletics.
Phil, you are not a one-trick pony.
No,
you can do a lot of things.
I just, it's not the only reason I can do a lot of things is because I do a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like you can do a lot of things. Everybody can do a lot of things. They just have to do them.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of things. I just do a couple things really well.
Well, that's good too.
I brushed my teeth this morning.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So wait, you couldn't use.
But so I got out of undergrad with very little amount of debt, and then I went to grad school, and it was like pile that shit higher.
What do you think the average cost of a master's degree is right now? in the U.S.?
Oh,
Like your end bill, like what?
Yeah, I wonder what like the average cost.
Well, it
in the
depends.
US.
It
It's gotta be
depends.
huge.
No, it's interesting because it depends on what the master's degree is in. If you're getting a master's degree that's going to lead to a PhD, if you're getting a master's degree in something like just a regular master's in biology or limnology or whatever, any of those things where you can do a teaching assistantship or a graduate assistantship, if my undergrad degree was in athletic training and if I could work as an athletic trainer while getting a master's, then I would have gotten paid to get a master's degree instead of having a bill at the end. But because I was going into an entry-level master's program where I already wasn't certified, I was not able to offset that in any way. So I got the full bill. And then
Interesting.
some. So
Yeah.
How long did they give you?
usually they pay you. They remit your tuition. They give you a housing stipend and food stipend. Maybe you have to take a little bit of money out to supplement that, but that's it.
Housing is what killed me.
Yeah.
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 It's worth it if you're going to a school that you live kind of far away. You pretty much have to. But
yeah,
that's definitely what killed me. Not the academics. It was the housing. But that's how you make memories and meet people. And
absolutely.
So
it's a big part of the value.
yeah. Even with the degree itself, I know it's a lot of money, but like people say, it's a paper that no one is going to take from you. You'll always have that piece of paper.
Right. Yeah. They
So-
can't repossess your education. The only thing, and then on the other hand, you've got, so you asked the question though, right? Back to the question. If you had an 18-year-old, what would you try to guide them toward? Well, what do they want to do?
Yeah. Every
You know,
story is different. Every student has a different
If you
story.
want to be a nurse, then
Better go to school.
you're gonna
go to
have
nursing
to,
school.
you're gonna have to go to school,
Yeah.
and you should be guiding them way before they're 18 if they want to be a nurse. If they want to be a nurse, they need to make the right choices when they're 13 and when they're 14. Because if they start making the wrong choices when they're 13 and 14, it's going to make it a lot harder for them when they're 18.
And that you can also, and I don't know, I'm sure you might have taken them in high school. I took every college credit I could in high school. I went into college with 24 college credits.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
Really?
Yeah, I graduated in a year, I think.
Yeah.
With a
Well, yeah. 'cause
associate's degree and then a minor in another because I had nothing else better to do than to do those two. So
Yeah.
that's already 2 semesters under your belt, right? Isn't it? 12 credits.
I can't even remember what the third class I took was.
because I was able to take a bunch my junior year and then my senior year, and the only one that was tough was physics. Other than that, in high school, it's pretty friggin' easy.
I had AP biology. I had Spanish, college Spanish, and I had anatomy and physiology. I had something else too, though, because I had more
There's
credits in
college
that.
English.
I don't think I had college English.
You didn't do physics.
We didn't have that option. Like we had very few options. Much probably, I don't know. Dundee,
Oh, we had a lot for some
you had a
reason.
lot.
I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know.
you're younger than me,
And
so
we-
they made it a lot easier.
And then like AP calculus or something.
Like when I
So-
did it, it was like just starting to catch on, and then it really caught on. And they started a lot of high school students take a lot of college courses to where like your whole senior year could practically
That's
be.
what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, you were able to get like 30 or 32 in Dundee. It was a lot, like more
And
than a semester.
Did you have to pay for any of those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You have to pay for
You
them.
had to pay.
We had to pay, but it was like $300
Yeah,
for
it was
the
like
whole
200
class or something.
$250, I think.
Yeah, it's
per
crazy.
class.
But each
Yeah.
class probably gets you like what, four credits?
I don't
Usually
That's gonna add
three,
up.
usually three.
Yeah.
Unless it's like my anatomy and physiology. I don't remember if they split it up into 4 and 4 or if it was just 8. Because if there's a lab, then it's 4 credit usually.
See, Spanish was like is there semesters in high school? What do you call them? I don't even know. So I guess your first block, you got 2 credits for college Spanish. And then if you took it again and took college Spanish too, you got another 2 credits. So it was like 4 for doing it. But yeah, no, like I said, 24 credits. I was on my way.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
So in your story, college definitely made sense.
Yeah, it was just easy. And then I had a scholarship for football that wasn't just a football scholarship. So when you make Eddie Meath and all Greater Rochester, you get put into this like, I don't know what it is, high school thing, and it's like if you get picked, you get put into the College Football Hall of Fame in Indiana or something, and then they give you a $5,000 scholarship that can be used for academic or football or something like that. So, but to be put into it, you have to have like I think over a 95 overall. You have to have like a good GPA. So
Do you have to be in the High School Football Hall of Fame first?
That's what it was. Maybe, yeah, I think that's what it was. So the really good player, like Stephen Webb, I don't know if you ever heard of him or not. He went to Hobart, our running back. He didn't have a 95, so he was out of the equation. So I kind of was able to step up and take the scholarship. It was only $5,000 a semester, but it's still a lot of money.
It's $5,000 you didn't have.
Yeah.
And the way it worked was,
That'll bridge a gap.
Yeah.
If it overpaid for your college, you actually got the money. I mean, that was cash. Yeah, they gave it to you. It's a pretty cool deal. So
if you take it serious,
I'll bring in my Hall of Fame plaque for you, Phil. I'll let you hold it.
Wow. What position did you play?
Everybody you can see as high school glory days.
My plaque. It was defensive tackle and linebacker. Is what I got it for. Yeah.
I was a 200-pound center. 200-pound center.
There you go.
That's how small our offensive line was.
That's pretty. That's
golly.
pretty small. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine because I was 245
when you graduated.
Yeah, I graduated at 200.
Did you play in college?
I played little college ball, baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
What position?
First base.
First base.
Yeah.
That means he can catch really well.
Well, I actually like these, like 3 teeth are fake. Actually. Yeah.
So he can't catch as good as he was supposed to. But all I know from playing baseball was you're the person with the best mitt plays first base, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Or glove,
yeah.
not mitt. I don't know how they call
Can't
it.
let anything get by you.
My catch percentage was probably 97%, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I made some shady throws from third base. I'll tell you what.
You played baseball?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I loved baseball.
You were third baseman?
Well, I played just about every position. I started out when I was a little kid. I always wanted to be a catcher.
Oh, God.
And
that's a physical position.
it is, yeah. They don't call them the tools of ignorance for nothing.
Those
right?
guys, you get the hammer laid on your
well, and
hand
that was
now.
it. My dad was a baseball coach, and everything, all things said, he's kind of guided me toward that, and I liked it. I liked all the technical parts of it.
You have to be able to like have an arm on you too, right? Because you got to be able, like,
yeah.
How far of a throw is it from the catcher to second? It's long, right?
Yeah,
it's like 120 feet, maybe.
That's pretty big, right? You have to like really wing that from there, and then you got to get up out of your position.
Oh, and you have
like,
to be accurate too.
Yeah, that catcher's probably, to me,
that was not my
watching
strong
on
point.
TV. I'm like,
it's all in your core. It's all
right. Yeah,
it's a tough position.
I wasn't strong enough to be a catcher, but so regardless, it didn't really matter because when I was doing it, I didn't make it that far. I was catcher till I was like 12 or 13 because I found out I got this deal with my leg where I've got some like spots in my bones where it's not as strong.
What's that called? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's called fibrous dysplasia. They found it, like I had tendonitis or something, and it was just miserable. And so I went and I got an X-ray. And they're like, okay, well, your ankle looks fine, but there's this thing up here, and they're like, man,
no.
Talk about life changing. I was like, I thought I was freaking out because they told me like you could be just like walking along and your leg break.
Wow.
Jesus. No pun intended or anything, but is it a rare thing?
Pretty rare. So anyway, so what it was, right, is I go in and this doctor is talking to a 12-year-old, and it taught me a lot about how, like, as a healthcare professional now, how not to act. And he was very professional about it, but I only heard like 3 things. I heard him say that like I couldn't run or walk or he put me in a walking boot and crutches and stuff. Yeah, he's scared that he's like, cause we just, and it was, yeah, well, so maybe I needed to be scared a little bit, but I was way too scared. So, cause I was like, my identity was so wrapped up in athletics at that point that if that part was taken away from me, I didn't know what I would do.
You probably felt like you were going to be like a Forrest Gump.
He grew up with a father that coached a lot of sports
Yeah.
in his high school. So,
Yeah.
you got that.
He's coached like every
that
sport.
dad. So that's the way
Yeah.
my dad was. He's a football coach. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
He-
how it is.
Yeah, I don't remember how many games he's done. He's done like over 900 games or something that he's coached.
Really?
But anyway, the guy was like, he said that, and then he said the word tumor at some point. And then they're like, okay, well, it's going to be like 2 months, and then you'll get into a specialist in Syracuse or wherever the hell it was. And so I'm like, damn. And so then they give me all these other extra. I had to do like bone scans and MRIs and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like 12.
Never say tumor to a 12-year-old.
Right. So I went home and I'm like, yeah, I got cancer.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, you what? Because we had a lot of people in my family die from cancer, from different cancers. And not a lot, but a few, And so she's freaking out. I'm freaking out because she's freaking out. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's just like, I don't know.
Doctors.
I didn't know if I was going to be. So anyway, what it turned out to be was not cancer. It's not cancer. They said, okay, we just need to monitor it while you grow up, and didn't get any worse. But it just looks different. The inside part of the bone is a little bit less hard in that area, but there's plenty of hard bone around it that it's fine.
So
But you can actually feel on my leg. You can actually feel where there's kind of like a little spot where it bulges on that bone.
Do we have to feel it?
is it,
You don't have to.
is
Okay.
it more like, is it likely to break more than any
So-
other bone?
So here's what they said. And interestingly, I broke that bone in a different spot. Like I broke that bone down in my ankle. But what they said, and the way it is if it were to break in that area, that would be the spot where it would break probably. And if you break that, the one thing that's really bad, right, is if you break that, there's a much higher percentage chance that you have what's called a non-union fracture. So basically
I've had one of those.
that it won't heal. So you
Yeah.
probably have to get surgery or something, at least get a rod put in.
It's a lot of
freaking the radius bone
Yeah.
did that to me. Yeah. So,
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the story. And then,
so your Muay Thai career's over.
right. So that was
Probably
what,
can't-
essentially that was what ended. Like I was able to go back to sports. I came into the basketball season halfway through. But what happened was my dad said, well, you're not going to be a catcher anymore.
Have you seen Phil's high kicks?
Well, no, that would be interesting. Nice thing about first base is you can't slide into first base, so you wouldn't
Yeah, you can.
you wouldn't get. Oh, you can.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
slide.
What's the base you can't really? You're not supposed to slide 'cause
Home.
Is it
Well,
home?
no, you can slide.
You can
into
slide
home.
into all
They
the
just don't want
bases.
you like running into the
I
catcher.
thought there was something about first base. You're not supposed to slide. I don't remember. This is coming from
Well,
like,
it's not recommended.
Like younger
It's typically stupid to slide into first base.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense to slide into first base
I was just
because
saying
it's
your-
faster
your
to just run through
ankle would be safer
it,
at
unless you're
first.
going to slide head first.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I was playing first base in, I think it was a playoff game in Rochester, and I actually got 16 stitches on my lower right leg.
Mm.
Yeah, there was and it was on purpose too. It was kind of like one of those back and forth games.
He spiked you
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. And this is when they still had. I don't know if
with the
high
metal
schools-
cleats. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still doing metal cleats or not.
I don't know
but-
either.
Yeah, so
Oh.
yeah, I was straddling first base like I'm supposed to, and he comes in, instead of going onto the base, he goes directly down on my lower calf.
Ouch.
Yeah, so
Oh.
16 stitches later.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that was tough. But other than that, I've never broken a bone.
That's the problem. See, the problem with high school sports is you get the piss beat out of you for nothing. Like I don't know. I hate to be against it because I was a huge athlete. I can bring up all my glory days in sports, but it doesn't matter because I tell Phil all the time, like I could have went to college and played football. Lots of recruiting letters, went to a lot of places. Thank God I didn't. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it's fun because you get the camaraderie and but Jesus, to play a high physical contact sport and then you like later
It's a
on you
lot.
pay for it.
It's
Like
a
I can
lot,
just
yeah,
think
yeah.
of like every injury I have came from a high school sport. Nothing else. That's besides doing MMA in college, but none of them were that bad. So not even as bad as MMA. Less injuries than high school football.
Are you,
What's that say?
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
not good. So
yeah, they're just different sports.
yeah, I mean, the only thing that happens doing like mixed martial arts is like you a lot of your fingers, and then sometimes you get dislocations when people put you in a lock.
Yeah.
But like
concussions if you're not good at MMA.
Side contusions.
well, a lot of times MMA in New York when I was doing it, you had to wear head.
Yeah.
And you couldn't even do legal MMA bouts in New York State. A lot of people forget the only place you could do it was at like Turning Stone or down in Allegheny at that. Only the Indian reserves or
Really?
Native American.
Did you have any fights?
Like one or two, like not many. I mean, you had headgear on. You couldn't use your elbows. It was just like,
Even in the actual bout, you had to have the headgear on?
Yeah.
Oh.
They'd make you do it. It was pretty.
No kidding.
Even though you could do MMA, they still made you do it. They wouldn't. No one would let you go in there. Now in New York, you can just go balls. There's like it's full on. Now it's like crazy cage matches and people are nuts. I'm glad I didn't do that.
You think you'll make a comeback?
Who passed that rule?
To let it go?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Who would do that, Cuomo?
I'm just shocked that there was something in New York State where they actually made it so there was more freedom.
Yeah.
Instead of less.
I don't know. I'm sure
that never happens.
A lot of people were upset because New York City was making all the money because you were allowed to go down to New York City and do MMA matches, but you couldn't do them like up here. The only time there was ever one without it, where was it? Pennsylvania, Maryland, or something. You had to go down there and do it. Yeah, it's just like.
Did you ever fight in a barn before?
No.
That seems like it'd be
not professional.
What about? Did you ever been in a prison fight?
No.
Like or jail?
I got spit on in jail.
You just got spit on.
Yeah, and I was on the CERT team.
But you didn't like.
Yeah, I was able to like tackle him down and
yeah.
hold him. Yeah, it's fun.
So that's kind of like you kind of got into a fight.
We put a spit mask on him.
Like that guy that they killed in Rochester.
Yeah, exactly like that.
What's like the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you at like a jail?
Weirdest?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Or just most interesting.
Really, I saw a guy die. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess I don't know. There's just like what you see on TV. It's like a lot less than that. But every once in a while you see some crazy shit. You're like, oh,
what did he die?
That's interesting. He jumped off the second floor balcony and like landed on his head. But he went in because he sexually assaulted a baby.
Well, that's why.
And the baby died.
Jesus
and
Christ.
It was in Lions. So it's all over the news and in the newspaper. So this guy comes in.
He's not going to do well.
And it's like, you're done. And like within somebody told the inmates the day before. So like I remember going in and there's like 10-foot ceilings here, and then the rest were like 40-foot. And on the 10-foot ceiling, there was still blood where he got beat up in the corner by these guys. And then he ended up ending himself the next day because he knew what was going to happen. So
the pedophiles are top tier in prison.
Yeah, people don't like them. Yeah.
No.
There's a lot of creative people in jail, though. One of my favorite things that I seen was this guy took all the milk cartons, ripped all the elastic out of his sock, and made a guitar out of sock elastic and milk cartons. Dude, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Did it sound good?
He twanged on it. It's funny.
Yeah.
Did he have to keep it hidden?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't care because I seen him screwing around. He knew when I was there. I didn't care. But one of the guys after me, some old prick, takes it from him and like writes him up and then says that I knew about it. And like I ended up leaving that job because there's more drama working in a jail than you could ever imagine. It's
what jail?
So it's like you can't use
Ontario
stuff.
County.
You can't use stuff for other than its intended purpose, right?
Yeah. And I guess in jail you're really not supposed to have fun. I mean, you're in jail, right? I guess is what they think. But to me, the kid was 19 years old and he was in there because he
probably some dumb drug
restricted the air of another person. And in there it says that he got into a fight and he choked someone and they pressed charges on him. So I mean, he wasn't like a horrible kid. It's not
that can go sideways though. I knew a guy when I was growing up that was a wrestler, and he got into a fight outside of a bar. Some guy attacked him. I think the guy attacked him, but he was a wrestler, so he just grabbed the guy and he choked him, and the guy died.
What did he do? Hit his head after?
And he choked him to death.
He just kept holding him once he was out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Well, you should know as a wrestler, you should know when to let up.
Well, and that's why
I can tell you,
and
you
that's
can
why
feel people go limp real quick.
and that's why he went to
Hey,
prison.
he's turning blue.
That's why he went to prison for
Wow.
second degree, is because he didn't go there to kill the guy, but he knew well enough to let go.
Yeah.
And didn't.
Yeah, the most non-intrusive choke's the blood choke. That's when you restrict somebody's airflow, you get really scary. So yeah, that's why I don't know why. When I was a corrections officer and starting to become a cop, they don't teach anyone. Like, why is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu not taught to every single law officer? The things you could do with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and just hold a person, like why?
Because they don't want to make sense.
That it's so easy. You can just put someone in a Kimura. You can just put them down. You could put them in a blood choke or
Teach 'em-
a rear naked choke.
How easy
Like-
is that to learn?
Easy.
Really?
I mean, not to be a master at it,
Yeah.
but to learn how to grapple and roll. And because a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is putting your body. I mean, and you coming the way you are, you're like, so you like being perfect. You love it because the technique and the way you place your body and where you hold your weight. It just like, it makes sense. Like the way that you can just grab the smallest thing, somebody's wrist,
Yeah.
and just stop.
Am I going to get ringworm?
I don't know. I never got ringworm really.
Why would you get ringworm?
Am I going to get cauliflower ear?
No, my ears are fine.
Because all the skin conditions that you get when you get into like any kind of wrestling, like when I was working at Bucknell University, I worked with the wrestling a little bit, and before every wrestling competition, like everybody'd have to do skin checks to make sure they didn't have any rashes or anything.
Yeah, when you do MMA, you get like the check, especially before you go do a bout, because
You got like
there's a
lift up
lot
your
of
balls.
blood and saliva, so they want to make sure that you pass. Like a couple guys didn't make it in because they had herpes, or they got or they got an STD, because no matter, they give you the check.
Yeah.
Like, because you're wrestling another man, so they don't want you rubbing up on someone and giving it to them.
Well, because like,
And you're on the mats too, so
Right, yeah.
like you don't want to transmit it to the next 10 guys that are on the mat after you either.
yeah,
because so much like blood and saliva is shared. I'm so surprised that they have UFC going on right now.
well, in a different country.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
They've done it in the United States for a pay-per-view, haven't they?
Oh, did they? I don't know.
I think they did one,
Yeah.
and then
I
they
thought they
also
were on an island or
Yeah,
something.
that's what I thought too.
in like Dubai or something.
Yeah.
I think it was Dubai.
And the thing is I was doing amateur, and the checks we would get was pretty extensive. I imagine what they're doing in the UFC. Those guys, I mean, I'm sure they're clean as can be. So
Yeah,
I'd imagine. But how crazy is it if you think about how safe you have to be? Because if you get herpes, you can't never fight again. If you get, think hepatitis or anything like that, like your career is
Yeah.
done and over with. So these guys, you must really be like on top of your game. So
There are some things though that you can, like if you have ringworm, you can still fight. You can wrestle like in the NCAA.
I don't
Oh,
think I want to
really?
fight
it's,
someone if they have
if it's
ringworm.
covered. Like that's
Okay.
it. So
I
like
didn't know that,
with
yeah.
some of these rashes and things, like it doesn't necessarily disqualify you, but it requires you to take extra precautions to make sure that you're not spreading.
Yeah, but it can easily become uncovered like during the match, though.
Well, and then you'd have to you get like 5 minutes total to make sure that you have blood
Wrapped
time,
up again.
right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know all the details of it anymore. I used to know more about it, but essentially and it might not even be ringworm, but some skin conditions and other things that if they're covered, then you can still compete. And that goes for other sports too. That goes for, soccer. Like you can't have an exposed rash or an exposed wound. It has to be covered. So,
right. Yeah. And that's every sport. You see them.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch sports, Jordan, as soon as, especially as much as we like basketball, if there's a drop of maybe even a little blood, they're like wrapping them up and like getting the blood, like they take care of it instantly.
Yeah.
They don't mess around.
that's hydrogen peroxide works surprisingly well at removing blood from clothing.
It's like, I was talking to Phil, watching some boxing and fighting. Like when I was doing MMA, they still did the like cold stuff like on your face, like to try to like bring down swelling. And I was like, the only thing it does is it like, I guess like I was asking Phil, how much do you think it helps? And all I remember is I guess it lowered the swelling, but if you ever got hit there, you'd bleed instantly. So I was like, I don't know.
Why? Because it's so cold.
No, you just because like all they're doing is dropping, so you're still gonna bleed. You're still gonna get cut open.
Did they put Vaseline on you?
See, I didn't. I had headgear most of the time. There was only
Vaseline.
there was only the one where it was like down there, and that was like. It was crazy the way they like wrapped your hands and did your face, and that was a little more legit. And then like training, you could do that, but yeah, I don't know. I've never really seen like a real. I would love to see like a pro fight and how they train and what they do for.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because I was an amateur. The way I heard about it was an FLCC, and these kids were all taking rides to Ithaca College and going to the bomb squad where John Jones was out of. So
Jeez.
John Bones Jones, yeah.
I used to want to box, but like not just to get into bouts, just like more for like the training. Like even with like UFC,
just to get in
MMA.
shape.
Yeah, like the trainings that they must have to go through are just ridiculous.
There's a Golden Glove boxer out of Geneva. I mean, I think he still has his boxing thing there.
Yeah, they have a boxing facility in Geneva.
Yeah, that guy's a Golden Glove, so he must know his shit. I know a lot of people that wanted to box used to go there. So
also, if you get really good at boxing, like if you ever like go out in public, no one's gonna mess with you. Like no one's gonna.
Oh,
there's a creepy Phil fact. What's that?
Shrek doesn't make job removing blood from clothing. Thanks, Sean. Hey, Sean, nice buck, buddy. It was impressive. And I love the way that you freaking scouted out and like worked on it, and you finally got it. It was cool seeing that.
You guys hunt?
Oh
yeah.
You guys both hunt?
Yeah. I should have been hunting today.
I was hunting.
With that snow out.
I was hunting sleep today.
Me too.
That's what I was trying to do.
I got I just got here in time to get the show on time.
Hey, I got my one deer.
Hey, you know we started on time today.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's unbelievable.
Right at 11.
It never happens.
You brought something up. I guess we can switch off MMA and stuff. You brought up the word beast a while back. Like it was like way back, like a half hour ago.
We were probably talking about me.
And
I brought up beast.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. And all I could think about was Jordan's dog. That thing.
Shout out Tatum.
You've never seen a more vicious dog. You seen
that
it?
Tiny little poodle?
It tried to kill me. It licked me
Yeah.
to death. Yeah, it was the cutest damn dog I've ever seen in my life, Jordan.
You would have to check him from head to toe before you put him in an MMA fight because he will lick your face to death.
That dog is so cute. So you've seen his dog?
Yeah, he brought it in like the first day.
His little sweater.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
LBC sweater.
He's well known at Laurentide.
If you have tiny dogs, I guess you can get a little dog sweater from the Laurentide. Is that like?
Yeah.
Do they have more? They have more of those?
That's not what he didn't have on the Laurentide.
Is that regular
sweater.
merch or what?
Yeah, it's just a little Laurentide like doggy T-shirt.
Yeah. So
slips right on. And
so if you have a tiny dog, like
apparently if
French bulldogs or whatever.
Yeah, if a man has a tiny dog, apparently that's adorable.
Yes. Especially a bigger man has a tiny dog.
Yeah.
Like a big guy with a tiny dog. It's cute. Right?
Big man and a tiny dog. It's like a big man in a little coat.
Hey, Jordan, are you sharing that?
Yeah. You guys want some?
I may have a small amount.
Yeah.
Oh, Gentleman Jack, is that what that was?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
GJ.
Yeah, I can't do the
I'll take a spot.
I can't do the normal Jack anymore.
See, Jack Daniels
Me
is
either.
my favorite alcohol. But
I've been developing a more expensive taste, like your guys' bourbon.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you?
And
Awesome.
what do you guys have there now? It's I forget what it's called, but I don't think it's bourbon. It's a whiskey.
What they have at the Laurentide?
At Laurentide, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's like Fort something.
They've got
Isn't that
some kind
yours?
of
I
rye
thought
there.
that was
no,
Jesse's.
no, that's not mine.
That's not yours.
No, it's
pretty good though.
It's a rye, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
They got
yeah,
a rye
it's a
over
rye.
there. Yeah, it's decent. It's a decent rye.
Gentleman Jack. So, fun fact about Jack Daniels Distillery is probably the coolest distillery, and the way they distill everything is amazing. If you go and visit, you'll never drink anything else. I'm just telling you, it's pretty cool. The only fun thing with it is it's in a dry county. A lot of people have heard, so you can't drink anything there because it's in a dry county.
Isn't that crazy?
But there's like a part of it that's not in the county.
Jesus.
That's
That would drive me nuts.
Can we
though.
annex just this room?
So there's like a room. I don't know if it's on the line or something that you can go in and drink in.
Like in the same.
It sounds like a
building?
Yes.
gimmick. It sounds like a gimmick.
It's
Yeah.
in a seriously dry county. It really
yeah,
is.
but I bet they
maybe.
I bet they were like,
I don't know.
here's $10 million. We're gonna just take this part and we're gonna annex it onto Hazard County.
Yeah. That would drive me nuts if I'm going to a distillery and seeing how it's made, one of my favorite drinks, and at the end they say you can't taste it.
Right.
That would drive me nuts.
Go buy a bottle at the liquor store.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for
They
coming.
have
It's in
that-
all of them.
they have that little room you can go in and do a tasting. But one of the coolest things about that place is they show you where the water's filtered through limestone. You can like go walk. It's like, I don't know.
That's cool.
Maybe a half mile away, and you can see where like this like kind of looks like almost like a waterfall that goes in through the limestone down in. It's like a naturally occurring spring, and
Wow.
it's pretty. And they've been using that water since. Who knows? It's
And
barely on the bottle.
Is it in Tennessee? Is it in Tennessee?
No, that was in. Yeah, it is in Tennessee.
It is in
Yeah.
Tennessee.
I forget what county it is or where it is exactly, but yeah, it's about 45 minutes an hour south of Nashville.
Is Jack Daniels the one you probably remember this? Like a year, I don't know, in the past couple of years, at some point, there was like a big fire.
That's Jim Beam.
It was Jim Beam.
Yeah.
Took out like 300,000 barrels of whiskey or something.
It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Can you imagine?
Well, it's not terrible for them because all of it was
Insurance.
insured.
Yeah.
Here
But,
we go. We get the money now instead
yeah.
of
Yeah.
having to sell it all.
Makes you
That's
wonder.
why there was, and that wasn't out in public, but on like the ADI forums, there was a huge investigation
Oh yeah.
because they were saying Jim Beam was like not doing well.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, boom,
Get
there's
that
a
insurance
fire.
money.
Yeah.
They're like, but then Jim Beam's like, why would we destroy our own hard work? And the guy's like, for money. Like,
Now, what about-
It's like, I don't know.
What about Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah.
Like personally.
Yeah.
Um,
Did a couple movies together.
yeah. So you know about that vodka that he's got?
The Crystal Head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every famous person.
Do you know how they
has their
make
own-
that?
No.
Part of their process, they take the vodka and they run it over something called Herkimer diamonds.
Yeah.
You know about that?
Yeah. Because the diamonds have a, now that I don't know about that, but I know that diamonds have something that like same thing as copper, almost like takes out some of the impurities and sulfites and everything.
You can go there. They got campsites there.
The Herkimer?
Yeah, we used to go there every year as a family.
Yeah, me too.
Just pick. Oh, you did?
Well, I'd go to Frankfurt, right next to Herkimer.
How far is
Wow.
Herkimer from here? What is
It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably ran into you. Just didn't even know you.
I don't think so.
That's and I wonder how many distillers from around here have tried to do it. Maybe some people do.
Yeah, I don't
get
know.
there.
I don't know.
I don't know how good it works compared to chill filtering, which is way better.
Do you know what Herkimer
so-
diamonds are?
No.
I saw this and he said, oh yeah. And then, because it like the diamonds turn yellow when like after they've been used up and you have to get new diamonds. And it doesn't make sense for actual diamonds to chemically change anything because they're pretty inert. It's just carbon, like
Mhm.
that's how diamonds are. So I looked it up. Herkimer diamonds are just it's quartz.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, I've just read about maybe like that the Herkimer, and it was on the forums. Obviously, they were probably talking about Dan Aykroyd, and they were asking if anyone uses it and explaining it. But at the end, the big conclusion was chill filtering is the best filter process in the world, and there's nothing better.
chill filtering.
Chill
Yeah.
filtering.
So is that like how you make ice beer?
I don't know how you make ice beer.
You just freeze it, and
freeze
then
it.
pull off whatever freezes.
So a
doesn't
chill
go in there.
filtering is like extreme cold temps that freeze off any impurities or anything like that, and filters it out. It's it's expensive as hell. I don't have one. It's thousands of dollars to get
Really?
one to do it. But yeah,
Do you have to
that's-
use liquid nitrogen or something?
maybe.
Yeah.
I've just looked at them thinking, if we ever were like made it big and we're making vodka, of course you do it. But yeah, I guess we use activated carbon because that's
Yeah.
affordable.
You
I mean-
just triple filter, reverse osmosis.
activated carbon. A fun fact: if you want to make any alcohol taste better, pour it out, swirl it fast, slow, for as long as you can, and put it back in the bottle.
Just give it some air.
Yeah, because all you're doing is adding. So you're taking out some of the impurities and just adding oxygen to it, or adding air to it, so it makes it smoother, little fluffier is what I call it. And
What
it won't
about
last.
these
So,
these little like wood spirals? Have you seen these? It's like they take some oak or something
they burn
and they
them.
make a spiral and they burn it, so it's got a lot of surface area on it, and then
Sure.
you put it in
That's how you make
the bottle.
That's how you make shitty bourbon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about the little barrels? Like you can get like a 1 gallon barrel or a 3
Those
gallon
are
barrel.
cool.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
'Cause I saw, and then there's stuff that you can put in them too, which I don't understand why you'd have to put anything in it.
Because it's all about surfaced out
Yeah.
to liquid ratio.
Yeah.
So the smaller the barrel, the faster the aging process. So a 5-gallon barrel, which a lot of distilleries are around here do now, is the best way to go, because it takes 4 to 6 months to age a bourbon. Where if you put it in a 53-gallon barrel, it takes 2 to 3 years.
Sure.
So it's like that's why. And a lot of people will put those chips in the barrel, so it's like faster. But it's like anything else. If you try to, the faster you make, the more it tastes woody. And I'm not sure if you ever had a woody bourbon, but you can almost taste like wood.
Don't a
It's
lot
too
of
much.
people use like maple too? Don't they put like
Maple?
maple in the process?
Like maple syrup.
No, there's like Jack Daniel's does a maple charcoal filter. So what they do is they run all their whiskey through a charcoal filter that's got, I don't know why it's maple, but yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Sounds so manly.
I always wanted to get one of those
fire.
little barrels though. I heard you could take like kind of crappy whiskey and make good whiskey out of it. Could you put vodka in one of those and like turn into whiskey essentially?
It probably tastes terrible.
Yeah, technically it'd be whiskey. Yeah, because the only thing that makes whiskey.
Do you think it would be
whiskey
good?
is aged. What's that?
Do you think it would be good?
Sure,
What would you name it?
but it wouldn't be. I mean,
Just-
it would be.
I wouldn't name it. I'd just drink it.
really clean tasting. So you're not going to get your like this. Like you taste this, you can taste the grain. In vodka, you're going to be like, oh, this is some good aged.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just tastes good.
Have you ever been to St. Louis? Have you ever been to Anheuser-Busch?
No, but I love Budweiser.
Yeah. So
I
do
can't
you know
drink
about their
Budweiser.
process? It's kind of cool. I got to take the brewery tour there a few years ago.
Did you see the horses?
Yeah, I saw the horses. You see everything. It's cool.
Seriously, do they have Clydesdales?
Oh yeah,
there?
they've got
Oh,
them. Yeah.
that's cool.
They've got a whole barn, and then they bring one out and let you look at it and stuff.
They're huge, right?
They're massive. Yeah,
I've always
they're
wanted to see
like-
one.
way taller than me.
That Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdales, it was so
It's
sad.
true. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Very
All right.
tear-dropping.
Moment of silence. Anyway, they take you through this, and at the beginning, it doesn't smell very good. Like because you go into all the different parts of their process. Like you smell it at this part, and you go in there, and it's like, and then you go in, and there's just these giant tanks, and they're, man, I think they're like 250,000 gallons or something like that, or maybe it's even 250,000
Holy
barrels.
shit,
Like
Jesus.
they're massive.
I'm sure.
Like they're
Yeah.
bigger than they're like the size of this building. Like they're huge. They're not that tall, but they're like two.
Well, I
anyway.
know that sometimes they're so big that you can't ship them on the road. Some of those things they actually
Probably
Oh
gotta
yeah,
bring them
yeah,
by
they'd have to build
boat
them. Yeah,
or
yeah,
build
yeah.
them
Yeah,
there.
yeah, they'd
like
have to
it's
those huge
them.
cargo ships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Bring them
huge
up the
shit.
Mississippi.
Seriously,
But
yeah,
so anyway, the point is, so there you're in a situation that's how they're aging or fermenting, whatever. And so that part of the process, they're steel tanks. So they're not aged in wood. They're aged with wood in it. So they take these palm staves.
they're aging beer
Yeah, they age the beer
with wood.
with wood.
Really?
So
Okay.
when you get Budweiser, they've got palm staves.
Okay.
And I think they're from France. I think they bring them in from France. There might be some that come from America, but there's kind of there might be a combination. Anyway, so they take these palm staves and they put them into the tank with the beer, and so they have all that surface area from it being inside. So that was kind of tying it back in. It's kind of a neat
Neat
idea.
I didn't know they aged beer on wood.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Why?
I just didn't know.
Where'd you hear this?
There.
Oh, you went.
I went there and
Oh.
they were like, yeah, there's palm staves in that.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, I just didn't know. I didn't what the hell it would do to a beer putting wood on it.
Well, I mean, think about barrel aged porter, like
Right.
barrel aged
It's-
imperial
it's in-
stout.
so are the palm staves charred?
I don't think so.
So I just don't know what they're picking up from the wood. That's no, I
think-
I don't know.
I think partly it gives them more surface
Yeah.
area for the fermentation or whatever.
And I like Budweiser, so it works.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and you think anyone around here puts wood in their beer? I
Most
don't
of them
think
put
so.
their beer in wood. Like,
They do.
yeah, all these places that no, I don't mean most of them do that, but a lot of places have barrel aged beer. They'll
Oh
get,
yeah, but not like a lager.
No, you're right.
I just
Yeah.
I just drink it. I
But
they
know
could.
nothing about
I
it.
really like
And I think they use the
bourbon.
palm because it doesn't have as strong of a flavor as
Yeah.
like oak. You know, it's not, Maker's Mark barrels that they're putting it in. It's
And the Laurentide gets my my bourbon barrel. This one when it's done, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
probably put that imperial stout in there.
That'll kill somebody.
Yes, me.
Yeah, Jay, that's called a gin ski. Is what Carlton calls his gin in a whiskey barrel. And then aged gin, it's called Old Tom gin. So, but yeah, Carlton, that's his gin ski. I've been tasting that for a long time. It was always not for me.
You don't like
and
it.
then he got it out and watered it down and put it in the bottle, and it's good now. Yeah.
Huh.
But like we were trying it like when he first was doing it, and every time I'm like, oh God, Carlton, you're gonna kill somebody with this shit. Because it's like 128 proof, right?
What's the
So,
strongest thing you have on your menu?
I think the gin, 94 proof.
Gin.
Yeah.
Isn't your bourbon more than that?
92.
Really?
Yeah.
That
Wow.
bourbon's good, dude. Very smooth.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Thanks for the whiskey.
Yeah,
That's
sure,
good.
No problem.
I've never actually had Gentleman Jack before.
Really?
It's double mellowed. Did you know that?
Double mellowed.
No. Probably cost extra too.
No, Gentleman
They got
Jack
me.
does cost
They
extra.
pay extra
Oh,
for,
yeah,
the,
yeah,
for the
Gentleman
second
Jack.
mellowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, extra mellowed.
That's why I was like, my taste just got a little bit more expensive, but that's not a bad thing.
So what's going on in the music world right now for you?
For me, I have I'm in like a weird transition right now. I had my old stage name.
Pre-op?
Yeah, what were you looking at over here? No, not that transition.
Oh, you were. Oh shit! I get it. I didn't get it for the longest time. Now I'm like,
No.
oh
No, I'm saying with my name. I used to have old name went by Two Hitta. It was a college name, but I'm transitioning into Jordan.
Bush.
Yeah, Ice Bush. No,
two hit it.
Yeah,
I like that one.
that was
I'll never forget the first
I'm more
time
of
that I
a
heard Molly
one-hitter,
McGuigan come
so-
in. She's like, "We're going to see Two Hitta."
even if I change it, everyone's just gonna call me Two Hitta. But no, I'm trying to start performing more like around the Finger Lakes, like acoustically, and like do covers, but also do my original stuff. But I think that like wineries and breweries, distilleries, they would rather hire a Jordan Bush to perform than a Two Hitta.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Now, with that, what is so do you do a lot of cover music, or is it mostly your own stuff?
Well, everything I do right now is just my own stuff.
Okay.
I do have right now, which is my first single. It's on like iTunes, Spotify. It's called Saturdays. We're actually gonna be shooting the music video at Laurentide
Oh, cool.
inside the inn, which will be pretty cool.
Neat.
Yeah. Also, if there's any women viewers that are watching right now, we need a lead. So if you're interested.
You wanted a very specific kind of woman for this, though, didn't you?
Yeah. So the director, his name's Shane Cole. He wants a brunette for this one. So definitely has to be brunette.
Gotta have a brunette.
Yeah.
My
So-
dancing career's
What about a
over.
redhead? You don't get any redheads in there?
Yeah. Phil, you can be
You
an
afraid they're gonna be too fiery?
You guys can be an extra if you want.
Yeah,
music video.
I'm not supposed to show my face in this county, so I don't want to.
Jesse's an outlaw.
Yeah, it's try to
He's in the witness protection program.
while I'm doing a podcast live on Facebook.
Smartest guy in the world.
Strike that. Not in the witness protection program. Forget I said that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be. You got to be a brunette. Listen, we don't dye your damn hair. We want a real brunette,
Yeah.
Yeah.
legit.
Oh, and you will get paid. You will get paid.
No, a legit brunette. What were you gonna say? Don't say anything stupid before you get us in trouble. I'm just saying a real brunette that you'll get paid.
Phil, you're awful.
I can't.
No more whiskey for
I'm-
Phil.
I'm not-
He's done with whiskey for the day.
Sometimes I'm slightly immature.
Well, it's boring to be professional all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but live on Facebook, it's good.
What
to be
is?
professional.
What's the
Yeah, that's
song
true.
about?
So obviously it doesn't apply for everyone because not everyone, works on Saturdays. But
Can
if you don't
Can you
work,
pull it up on Spotify? We have the content
mm.
creator here.
We'll probably get pulled though.
Why?
it doesn't swear.
Yeah, we'll get pulled off YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, don't do that then.
but I'll link to it. I'll link to
Okay.
it in the comments later.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, it's about finding, special girl. It's your Saturday, you enjoy Saturdays, you want to be with them the rest of your life. And it's pretty self. Oop, I think we got a girl tagged.
No, that's
It's
Marianne.
Marianne.
Oh,
No
yeah,
girl
that's
tag.
that's your other co-host, right?
Yeah.
It is.
I don't think
Marianne.
Marianne wants to be in a music
No,
video.
no.
Maybe she does. You never
Yeah,
know.
Marianne, you can be in a music video.
Mary, you never know.
That would be really good for the podcast. I want you to know.
Oh,
that.
God.
It would really help us a lot.
It would be on here.
If you can wear its
Content.
rare shirt.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Do it for the music video. We'll get your logo in the video.
All right, yeah.
We usually
Marianne's gonna kill you right now. I'm telling you, when she sees you, you're a dead man.
Probably.
Sorry.
No, it'll be good promotion for you. My last video got about 6,000-7,000 views.
There you go.
So it's better than nothing.
yeah.
It's like pretty much all opinion.
Wait till you see how many views this one gets.
I hope a lot.
It's gonna be great. So how do you describe your genre? Like, what do you?
See it's
Are you more like Ja Rule or more like
Ja Rule?
Clayton
I kind of have
Jennings?
Ja Rule?
No, I have like probably about, I'd say I'm like Post Malone. I'm
Po-
kind of on the same vibe as him. Like
Posty.
he's not just hip hop, and he's like, he does a little bit of everything. Like, I don't know if you know
He's
his
a
song.
hell of a singer and
Yeah,
guitar
I don't.
player.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Do you
I know
his-
people like him though.
Do you ever hear his song "Feeling Whitney"?
Yeah.
Just all acoustic.
Yeah.
I like a lot of acoustic. Like, I'll even, it's what I'm feeling. Like, I'll put out a country song. Like, it's just anything that I'm like vibing with at the time. And
I'll sing back up on your country song.
you have a good low voice. Like,
Yeah,
very
he's
good low
ready.
voice.
He's ready for it.
Yeah.
He's ready to sing his country.
Phil, come into the
I've
studio.
been practicing every morning in the shower.
Have you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
sing some nitty gritty dirt band. Nitty gritty dirt band, you'd be good at. It's hard for me because it's a little bit higher than I can modulate.
What is it? Nitty?
The nitty gritty dirt band.
Never heard of them.
You never heard of the nitty gritty dirt band?
Nope.
Golly,
What
we'll
genre
get
is
you.
it?
That's,
Golly.
that's good old fashioned country music.
Yeah, I'm only Johnny Cash for old fashioned.
Now listen, I listen to country music's all I listen to. I think
Oh,
Phil
yeah?
kind of he hates on me for it sometimes.
What?
I don't know.
You don't broaden your
No,
horizons. You
I
don't do any
feel-
other genres.
What?
Yeah, you like when you got in my Jeep the one day and you're like, oh, you listen to country.
Yeah,
You didn't think that's what I listened to. You're like, what? You just listen to like
yeah. I didn't
country?
think you listened to
Yeah,
it.
you didn't peg me as a country guy.
But
I'm from Dundee.
I wasn't hating on you for it. I just didn't think that you liked it. I like it. I was like, oh my god, we actually have something in common.
No, that's what I meant. Like maybe not hating, but like picking on me. Like, oh, I didn't think you'd listen to country music. Like, well, what do I look like? I listen to.
Yeah, like kind of.
You guys like today's country, or
Miley Cyrus and stuff like that.
Well, I like
That's
Miley
so you look
Cyrus.
like you listen
Yeah,
to.
I like Hannah Montana too.
Yeah.
Take either.
I like Hannah Montana more than Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus went off the deep end.
Britney Spears, Cher, that kind of stuff is what I thought you listened
came in
to.
like a wrecking ball.
I came in like a wrecking ball. All right. I knew Marla. We need to sing for Marla.
Oh god. We'll sing a song for Marla.
Do you have anything that you can? Do you have anything ready? You promised me the other night that you were going to sing a Festivus song.
How drunk was I? I do not remember promising that.
You don't remember? You were like,
I don't even know
you
what
said
Festivus is.
you said I'll sing a Christmas song, and I said, well, I don't really celebrate
Oh.
Christmas, but I like Festivus, and you're like, oh, well, we'll do a Festivus song.
Oh yes, that was it was Friday night, wasn't it? Oh,
You guys are both pretty drunk that night.
yeah. I didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m. It was not good. If you like Johnny
Oh yeah,
Cash,
Waylon Jennings is
You have to
great.
try to
Chris
listen to-
Christopherson. You ever listen to those guys?
I know who they are. Don't listen to them though.
Really?
Yeah.
You know-
As an artist, I really need to like broaden my horizons and listen to older stuff. I listen to some older stuff, but like Biggie, I'll listen to Biggie. Not Tupac though.
Yeah.
I don't like Tupac.
Huh.
I respect him, but I
Why don't
listen
you
to it.
like him?
It's just I just don't vibe with it. Music's all about vibes, and I just don't like it.
It's because his bandana's backwards, isn't it?
That's the biggest thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into his bandana though.
So, yeah, I don't understand the old school rap that people like. Like those guys to me, just I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I guess like rap to me is like it has to have a meaning, right? So like J. Cole, Eminem, like people that actually sing about things other than just money and women and
Drugs.
You don't
drugs,
think
so
that changes had meaning?
changes by
Tupac Shakur?
Tupac.
you know there's a song or two by him that have something, but the rest is just like I don't know. I don't like
California
love. Yeah.
Knows how to party.
yeah, that one's that doesn't have
That's
a meaning.
stupid.
Yeah.
But then he's like, he samples Bruce Hornsby in the Range, Mandolin Rain for the background to the song Changes, and I thought that was a pretty good, like that had a good message.
I don't like Tupac. It's because he hasn't put anything out. Oh, jeez.
There you go.
Phil, you strike me as one of those guys that thinks that he's still alive.
You knew I was gonna say that.
I could just picture you saying that. I think
You got
honestly
called
would.
out, dude.
He actually has a place on Cuca Lake right next door
Oh,
to
yeah?
right next door to John Travolta.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that ever happen? Because I remember
I don't
people
think
talk
so.
about Travolta.
I don't think so.
When there was last summer, one of those military choppers came over the lake, and everybody's like, does anybody know what's going on with this military chopper that's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
down the lake? And I was like, yeah, it's John Travolta. But I guess there's is there a helicopter repair place in Penyan?
Helicopter.
Like up at the airport or
Well, yeah, they
near
have
there,
that.
there's like a helicopter
have,
mechanic.
Aerospace? Or I think it's called Aero, not Aerospace.
Is that what it is?
I think it's just Aero.
Yeah,
it's-
Penyan Arrow.
They have some cool
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
around here that
They
I
got-
don't even know about.
They got into a lot of trouble.
Really?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Because they make things for NASA.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought this was separate from. I thought the guy used to work for them.
Wait, Penyan Aero makes things for NASA?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Are you sure it's
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
not just a guy that used to work for them and then went to work for NASA?
It was a guy at Penyan Arrow. He was
Oh.
in trouble here.
Well, you got to tell the story then.
I don't know it well. I just remember reading about it, and he didn't. You're supposed to do he signed off
He was
on
like-
everything, and he
yeah.
didn't do the proper maintenance
doing
or
the paperwork
checks or
wrong.
anything. Yeah, he wasn't doing what he said he was doing, and he was signing off on it. So,
Oof.
and when you're messing with a company that's like NASA, is NASA federally owned?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
I was gonna say they were. So if you're messing with a federal company and you it's not gonna end.
I would
well.
be very stressed.
Yeah, me
I
too.
would
Like
be extremely
you're gonna
stressed.
want to do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened to that guy. Hey, newbie, what is that the guy's name or what is that?
Of course. Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, okay. Newbie might know a little better than I do, but I'm pretty sure it's at Penyan Arrow.
There's a lot of stuff around here that you don't even hardly notice. Like this Silgan Plastics, I never knew
The
knew
little
existed.
business district. Yeah.
You know, they produce like all the plastic bottles for shampoo and
Yep.
soap and stuff
Yeah.
for Unilever and
Yeah, they're one of our biggest customers.
really.
So newbie says he can tell us in private about the whole situation.
SpaceX. Okay.
Newbie,
That-
I don't know Newbie that well, but he also strikes me as a guy that
very knowledgeable.
that thinks that
When-
Tupac's still alive.
When
just like
these-
into conspiracies and
When those two are on,
No.
they're like for me, they're almost as smart as me together. Like they get close. So
like they'll just go into rabbit holes on certain topics. And
So what do you
it'll be
think is
foreign.
like?
Jordan, sometimes I'm like this. I'm like, so how about them Bills?
Yeah.
What do you think is the most exciting thing going on around here right now?
around here
Yeah,
right now,
like within driving range, like within
Laurentide.
the LBC.
Yeah.
Laurentide is the most
Seriously,
it's
dude.
at.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. It is.
I mean, if you think
It's a
about
good
it,
company.
like, because I've talked with people before, like, where else can you go to watch live music? You know,
Yeah. You can go there. You can watch live
driving
music.
distance,
You can.
With the best.
They just got great people.
They're good hosts.
Yeah,
And
they're just excellent
They
human
got
beings.
good bartenders. I
Yeah.
mean, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of bartenders, shout out. Well, I don't know if she's listening, but Molly, she got my little Tatum that little coat, the little sweater.
He's
thing.
got the cutest little coat. Dude.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
the
telling you.
beast dog that we were talking
Yeah,
about
the
earlier.
beast
It don't touch that dog without asking Jordan first. It will rip your fingers off.
Yeah, you need to sign a permission slip before you.
It'll lick the skin off your body.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, let me see that little shit, and I like put my hand. It's like, holy-
Do you?
Excited.
I don't know. You have a dog too. Do you guys brush your dog's teeth, or like?
I
give 'em
just
certain,
started.
like,
I should have
denture
done it
bones?
sooner.
Yeah, because my dog's breath is terrible. And
Oh,
he
for the
just,
breath.
Yeah.
They
We
got
do-
some stuff you can put in the water.
We do it to
Oh,
keep
really?
our dog's teeth away, and we
Yeah.
don't brush them. We give them like
You get the greenies.
deer bone, and a lot of people don't know like their
Oh.
antlers, like deer antler bone,
I think I've heard of that before. Yeah.
are really good for their teeth.
Really?
So yeah, anytime we get like find a shed or people don't want their horns, let the dogs chew on it. And I'm telling you, some of my dog like teeth are like bright white,
Really?
just from gnawing on bones all the time.
It'll keep him busy too.
I mean, that's how.
Antlers so hard too.
Yeah, and that's how they.
how hard, Phil?
Have you felt it? Look at how mad he gets. He's such a stick in the mud sometimes.
I'm very
Phil.
sorry. I know. We're trying to stay professional.
Yeah. Anyways, so. And that's all for today, folks. Phil is not talking for the rest of the day. It was so funny. At an event we were at not too long ago, you said something, and Phil just looked at you and didn't say anything. Just speechless. There's nothing better than making Phil speechless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You give like that upset mom look.
Yeah.
Like
he does.
you look and you're like, oh,
Just
He's-
disappointed.
He's very
Yeah.
disappointed in people. Like he looks at me like that a lot. Well, I'll say something and he'll look at me and be like, I'll be like, what do you want?
I'm so sorry.
Oh god. Well, we haven't been sued or pulled from Facebook, so we're doing fine.
Yeah. That's a cool thing about
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about you guys doing a podcast is you can pretty much say whatever you want. Not like literally, but you have a lot of like verbal freedom when it
Yeah.
comes to doing a podcast.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna pull us off the air except for Facebook and YouTube.
I mean,
and
Phil threatened
Spotify.
Cuomo live.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't really not with violence.
No, not violence.
You,
Just
you guys
it was
invited
a,
him.
it was a threatening tone.
I threatened him
and-
with chicken wings.
You
couple
invited him
times.
to the podcast, didn't you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
invited him.
And by the way, that is an open invitation. If you want to come on the podcast, Andrew Cuomo, you can come on. And not only that, I've got
So he can
I've been
talk
trying
about
to get
his
off
ventilators.
politics. I've been trying to get off politics, but I had a question today for people, and
You also threatened the Russian mob on Facebook Live. As
yeah,
well.
we can't talk about
You did?
that.
I must have
Yeah.
li-
We can't
I must have
talk-
missed that one.
We can't talk about that. I'm
Have you
I'm on a hit list. I'm
Phil,
on several hit
Phil's in
lists.
trouble. I had to tell the mob that I may be friends with Phil, but I whatever they got to do to Phil, they got to do.
I think I'm on-
I'm out of this.
I think I'm on the Clinton hit list too. So
Yeah. Phil's going to end up accidentally hanging himself or shooting
Jesus.
himself or getting in a car accident. That's how it
yeah,
goes.
listen, everybody. I am not going to kill myself. I have no desire to commit suicide at any point.
No.
It won't happen. If I ever
Public announcement.
appear to have committed suicide,
It was Hillary.
it was probably Clinton's.
The Clintons did it for sure.
I'm not gonna suicide myself. I promise.
So-
I promise.
So what's going on with this Russian mob? Like, what were you?
He can't really talk.
I
We'll
can't
have to
talk about
off
it
air
anymore.
About
You literally came in.
he's on
contact with
he's
it,
on a hit list. He really.
I can't
is.
talk
He's
about
gonna
it.
Get,
You just now became like one of the most interesting people I know.
We'll talk about it after. I can't talk about it right now.
Don't suicide yourself.
He suicided himself.
Oh God.
If Mark Wahlberg comes out and he's like, he suicided himself, just don't believe him. It's not true.
Oh, so you were going on about politics. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, you said you were going to ask a question. Hopefully
Well,
not for us.
I asked on social media, which is always a bad idea. I don't know. I just wanted to know, like, for people who, and we probably all know some people that are at this right now, but I've been trying to get off politics, but there's an interesting phenomena going on with the post-election news right now and otherwise. And it's really kind of, I don't know, I find it really interesting, but people who really like Trump and were really invested in it, there's a percentage of them that actually don't believe that Biden won the election.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
like,
people.
they think that both it was
A lot of
like
people
manipulated, it was miscounted, there's fraud, there's ballots that were like brought in from China. There's like, I don't know, there's like a million different theories for why, explanations for how Trump actually won. And so I just asked, and I'm not like, if that is the case, if Trump won, if the election was flipped illegitimately, if there was fraud that was so widespread that it actually changed the outcome of the election, I think we got to get to the bottom of that. So I asked this question: what evidence would you have to see, and how would it have to be presented in order for you to accept and believe that Trump actually lost?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I think the
Like, if-
evidence there now. I mean, he did lose. Yeah, there was some corruption at a minuscule level, but not
Yeah.
enough to overcome. This is such a gap.
But for
If
those
it was,
people that like
if there
still
was a
can't,
couple 100,000, maybe a million away, like on a dot, maybe you could be like, well,
Right.
there might. But at this point, it just seems
It's a very big election to rig and to not get caught. I don't.
in
Like-
multiple states. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
it's widespread.
Like, you can't think that every state's going to be like, well, we have a big,
Yeah.
big. But here's the thing: dead people did vote at a small level.
I heard
And
about that. How true?
I'm
is
sure
that?
maybe there was some bullying at the polls. Maybe there was some like pushing of certain things you should do. But at the same time, I don't think there's enough, unless there was a mess up in the system, or I don't think there was enough to
yeah,
change anything.
I don't
so.
think so either.
But I don't like mail-in voting because I do think it's bullshit. So.
and that could
Yeah.
sway the election
Nah.
potentially. No, not like illegitimately, but
This is the first time we ever did.
we've had
this, right?
way more people vote than ever.
Right. Oh,
And-
so that
Yeah.
shows like that
So-
demographics so different. Right.
Right. Yeah. So that might have changed the outcome just because more people voted.
Yeah, because you can just do it at home.
Right. It's
Quick and
easier
easy.
for them to vote. So
Yeah.
you don't actually have to go do anything to vote. You just fill the thing out, mail it. But
I think you'd be ignorant to say there wasn't some sort of fraud somewhere. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is in every election. I'm sure.
yeah,
there's some.
there's always some
but
small
how
amount.
much? How much? Maybe more this time because there was less in-person voting.
Mhm.
Maybe, but I can't believe there was more than 100,000.
But so how many does either of you not know at least a couple people who swear to God that Trump won this election?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So
But that's
The
it's their
question is-
opinion, so you just let them go with it.
yeah, no, yeah. So all I ask though is what do you have to see to convince you that that's not the case? Because I think I have a theory, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I feel like it would just have to be Trump saying, because they're just gonna. I feel like a lot of them would just believe Trump. They aren't gonna believe it if it comes
don't
from
think so.
somebody else. I don't think not, but I don't think they'll believe it coming from. They're not. I guarantee they're not going to believe it coming from CNN, NBC, CBS, Fox News.
Did you ever see the pictures of like the ballots in the dumpster? Like, do you think that was real? You ever, like, it was going around
in
like, viral on, like,
Philadelphia, wasn't right?
I don't know.
They had, like-
what state, but they were showing like pictures of like ballots in a dumpster.
I don't know.
I don't know how
I don't
like,
know.
accurate that would be.
Yeah,
but
and there might be evidence that there was some fraud, but I'm
I'm
just
sure there
curious,
was,
like
yeah.
what people
But-
would have to see.
you
And
would
like I
need
said,
a
it
lot
might
of
have to
evidence.
be
It's
Trump
one
saying,
of
well, you
those
know what,
things-
actually,
that you can't see anything because it's like what did they say? The proof is in the pudding kind
Yeah.
of deal. It's like it happened. It's there, and at the end of the day, I'm sure there was fraud, but you can't get that many people together
You can't rig an entire country.
to do that. I'm telling you, maybe you can get one state, one city
Yeah.
to like really
Yeah.
do it, but you can't all of a sudden. Here's the problem. There's some questionable things that are hard to answer. Sometimes there's a huge vote. There was a huge sway from when they stopped counting votes at 9:00, and then the next day, and all of a sudden you're like, "What the fuck happened?" Like
Right.
Trump, like when we were like Trump was up everywhere. Like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
is over." Then the next day you're like, "Whoa!"
yeah,
And
we,
so
we
I
knew those mail-in ballots were going to
and
be counted
I
late.
think they should have rethought their strategy on counting votes, and maybe not. Who cares what people think? They think,
Yeah.
but maybe if they counted the mail-in votes first, people wouldn't have been as shocked. And then there's the fact that the one county wrote in the wrong number of votes,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden changed it,
Yeah.
and people are like, "Oh, well, it went from like this many votes to like and so." There's some mess ups, and people find them, and
Yeah.
they're going to stay on them. And maybe there was. I mean, I don't know.
I heard
It's hard to say.
Kanye West got like 60,000 votes. It was either 6,000 or 60,000. But either way, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
How much did your girl get?
oh man, not enough. Not
Yeah.
enough. She got like 1.8% or something.
Really?
Yeah,
What-
it wasn't very good.
What would you think if
I discovered that only 1.8% of people actually like freedom. So
I apologize.
It was hurtful.
The first time I talked to you about her, I called her a guy. Joe.
everyone
that
does,
was
dude?
Joe.
Yeah, they all do.
Everyone
And I'm
does
like,
it.
oh no,
Yeah.
actually, Joe's a lady.
But he gave me the upset mom look.
Yeah, he's
When I was like-
good at
It's
that.
like, it's a girl.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
very
okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
You ever seen that Indian guy at the Celtics game with his hands on his hips? Like, that's Phil. That's his look all
Yep.
the time. He's always upset like that.
What?
Yeah, that's your upset with everyone look.
No,
yeah,
no,
that's
no,
your
no,
mom
no.
face. Yeah.
No, not.
You could
Not.
You could go for an Indian guy look.
Yeah, the whole
Patrick.
I don't do that.
no. All right. Well, you do. Back to fraud and corruption.
Waste, fraud, and corruption.
How much, where I'm more worried about fraud and corruption is at the town and county
The
level.
NFL. Oh,
How easy is it in a small town and county to just fucking muck up some results? Like who's
You could.
Extremely
You
easy.
who's
could.
watching in
Yeah.
these so that's where I really wonder. I'm like, let's
Yeah.
think about if there's corruption at the level of the president, you should really be concerned about the corruption happening where you live now.
well, the thing that really concerns me with the corruption with the president, sorry to get back to that, but the thing that really concerns me is that he spent 4 years talking about how there wasn't interference from the Russians. They had spent 4 years saying that there was.
Mm-hmm.
And how the hell haven't we done anything to improve the security of our elections in those 4 years that we were talking about that they thought that they were interfered with 4 years ago? And now the people that were saying it was interfered with are like, well, no, it can't have been interfered with. You have to believe all this. It's all nonsense.
But would
Yeah.
you?
But on the local level,
That
you're
is
right.
pretty scary
I
to
mean,
think about.
when votes are actually decided by 1 vote, 2 votes, 10 votes, oops, I lost this one.
Yeah.
Like,
how easy is that?
you don't have CNN here barking you
right.
down.
You don't
Yeah.
have poll watchers here.
Yeah.
You're just
well, they
hoping-
are, the polls are counted, the ballots are counted by a bipartisan committee. It should be nonpartisan, but it's bipartisan. They always make sure they've got Republicans and Democrats in the room for that.
I think at the smaller the level,
Yeah.
I would be really concerned about what's going
Smaller
on.
the level when it comes to voting, I think is kind of like high school. It's a popularity contest.
The only way
True. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
that you can be sure that you're gonna win a position in a small town is to landslide somebody.
Right.
Because
yeah.
I think if it's really close, you might see some shady shit going on, dude.
Whoops. I
I'm
don't know.
telling you.
I don't know. Maybe.
But here's a quick question, and we can get off this. Put your lives on it right now. Either way, one way or the other. Would you put your life on it that there was not a large amount of corruption, or that there was none at all, or fraud?
For the national,
the presidential election.
Even in presidential, yeah. Like, would you say, like, are you that sure that you'd say life or death? I will say I'd put my life on the line to say there was.
No, but I don't think there was.
Well,
And
that's the way I think.
all
But
I-
I don't ever like
I
being
wouldn't.
like,
I wouldn't.
"Well."
But
I don't know enough about it to put my life on it.
right. I mean, what I would say is it's been over a month since the election.
Mhm.
And while I have seen videos that were somewhat concerning and I've seen reports that were somewhat concerning, they seem a bit tenuous. And you'd think a month later, if there was widespread fraud and with, you know, all the people that were involved with the process, people can't keep a fucking secret, dude.
Well, that's
people
what I
can't
think.
keep a secret.
That's my thing with aliens.
like how in the hell?
It
Right,
really
yeah.
is. It's like if there was aliens, come on, guys.
Yeah, like we would have something a little more concrete, I
Right.
feel.
Yeah.
So I know you also can't say that because there's not that it's like goes both ways, right? Because you don't see the evidence doesn't mean that it's not there.
There's people that still believe
But
that the Earth isn't flat.
You also can't
or
say,
isn't round.
oh, because it goes both ways, right? Because there's not evidence of fraud doesn't mean that there wasn't fraud, but because there's not evidence that there wasn't fraud doesn't mean.
But isn't that the scariest thing? That's the worst part is that you just, as of right now, we have to trust the government.
We have to take somebody's word. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or because we can't do anything about it.
What's more concerning for me is
So-
that the officials that are elected get to then make the election laws, right?
Right.
So it'll always be the parties that are in power that are making the rules. So when you look at New York State, for example,
Do you want to revolt? Is that what you're saying?
no,
Okay.
but what I'm
All
saying, look, if you look at New York State, they made it so that third parties now have to get 3.5 times as many votes in order to qualify to be on the ballot for the next election. So, and then if you can't, then like sometime during the wintertime, like next year, they're going to have to get like 45,000 signatures in order to be on the ballot,
Which they will.
which they will.
Yeah.
Probably. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
it's a lot of work though.
Still not easy.
But the
year
thing is, they
was
should
the
be-
most eye-opening.
that
for a lot
that
of those
time and
parties.
effort though, the thing is that time and effort that they're putting into that, they should be campaigning. They should be developing their process instead of maybe, you know, but that should be time. That's time and money wasted on getting signatures instead of getting votes
Right.
and instead of spreading their message. And
But doesn't getting signatures kind of spread your message?
it does.
Yeah.
But-
Trust me,
but-
I'm not.
but
I'm
when
not
you're-
for
when
it.
you're
I'm
putting
just
on-
saying.
that's like saying, oh, well, distilling sells whiskey. Distilling doesn't sell whiskey,
It
but you
does.
have to distill in order to sell whiskey.
Right. So either way, you
Like-
got to do it.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like it's not going to sell itself. You have to make it and then you have to sell it.
You
Right?
got to get people to taste it.
You're missing the point.
I know.
You're intentionally missing the point. This is a fallacy.
I'm
This is a
following you,
fallacy.
Bill.
But you
I
get what I'm saying?
understand. I do.
So, you know, this is what they're doing. They're making it so that you have to put all this effort into the back process so that you don't have the ability to put all that effort and time and energy
Right.
into the selling.
Campaigning and
Right.
going everywhere and doing it.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
So it just, and this is the system that we have, and those rules are made. That rule was changed after the last election. After the election in 2018 for governor, that was supposed to secure ballot access for the Libertarian Party because he got enough votes that it should have been for 4 years. Then immediately they went and changed the rules so that it only counted for 2 years, and that then they'd have to get that many votes in the presidential election in order to stay on for the governor election.
Right.
So the governor vote should qualify for the governor vote. You have to get votes for president in order to be on the ballot for governor. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
But that's what they changed the rule to make it harder for third parties to compete.
Well, and it's fucked. That's why. Does anyone know where Lipton is?
Are you talking about the iced tea?
Yeah. We got to get him.
What?
We got to put the tea in the harbor. That's the only way we're going to change it. Where's Lipton?
Jesus.
You hear that? We're having a tea party. We're gonna throw. Isn't there any like? We're gonna throw a box of Lipton into Cuca Lake. Lipton.
Newbie, please, will you look up where Lipton is, because we're gonna have a revolution. Just so you know,
It's really gonna be a party. We're gonna have a party.
Tea party.
A tea party.
Yeah.
You guys ever been to a tea party?
A manly tea party.
You guys ever been to a tea party?
Yeah, I have. I've had one with my little cousin before.
Really?
Yeah, there was Mr. Unicorn. I was there, was dressed up in the
I was
90s.
there.
Was
So,
Mrs. Beasley there?
I don't know her.
You know,
No, I'm sure she was. I think
that's a reference for all you old people.
there was some
Mrs. Beasley.
there was some conflict at my tea party.
Was politics?
Mr.
talked?
Unicorn didn't like Mrs. Fluffy.
She didn't have her pinky up.
I'm telling you, my cousin is like, she's gonna start a drama. Like she's gonna be a drama actor. She's
She's 25, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. She's actually 8, and it was interesting. Like I don't know what was going on. I felt like Mr. Unicorn and Mrs. Fluffy had a connection, and then something happened. It was weird. She was like telling me the story, and I'm just sitting there sipping my tea with my princess cap, and I was like, I can't wait to get out of here.
Were there crumpets or
No.
little tiny
I had to
sandwiches?
pretend to eat sandwiches.
Little tiny
So it
sandwiches.
I was
all
like,
imaginary.
this is the best. And then I asked her if I was able to go get a beer out of the fridge for the tea party, and I was promptly told to get out of the tea party,
Oh boy.
and I was kicked out. So it was just Mr. Unicorn.
Okay, Sean wants to hear, and
Oh boy.
I talk about this a lot. So Sean wants to hear what my opinion is on the laws that most states have enacted that have turned the electoral college votes into a popularity contest, winner take all, and those laws' effects on this election. We talked about this a little bit from the other angle prior to the election. You know about this?
No.
So the Constitution doesn't say anything about that. You know how the electoral college typically works, right? So for
Yeah.
New York State, whoever gets the most votes in New York State gets all the votes. Like they get 35 electoral votes because they got New York State, right? Well, that's not in the Constitution. The Constitution says that the state decides how to distribute their electoral votes. So they could, if we wanted to, we could make it proportional. We could make it so that, everybody's vote in the state counted. We could make it so that, and you can do it a million different ways. You could say you get 10 votes for whoever gets the most, and then everything else is proportional. You can do it a million different ways, right?
But then that would be like if you won the popularity vote, right? Just like the mass. So everyone's vote matters for who they want. So it'd be the same way it was this election. It wouldn't change anything.
Well, no.
would it?
So if we did what I just said, right? So if we said, let's just make it even less like that, right? So
Okay.
let's say that we just went purely on proportion. So let's say that Trump won 40% in New York State and Biden won 50% and Jorgensen won 10%, which obviously didn't happen. But say that happened, right? So then Biden would get 17, he'd get 18 votes. Trump would get 14 votes, and then Jorgensen would get 4 votes, electoral votes, right? So, and there's other ways that you can do it. In Nebraska, for instance, they've got a couple districts that vote separately.
Would it change the results? I'm trying to do the math. I mean,
Well,
I'm trying to think.
You
in my
mean
head.
like the result of the overall election?
Yeah, or is it?
It would
just
change
for-
everything.
It would. Okay, so
It would change everything.
but would Biden still have won with that?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Okay,
Like
well,
it would have to be, and it depends because every state can do it differently.
okay.
The reason that it's done the way it's done is because it's the tyranny of the majority, right? So the majority in New York State is Democrats. They don't want any of the votes from the state going to Republican or anybody else other than the candidate that they want. They want to consolidate all the power that they can within their party. And they know that it's a solid state. We're always going to vote for the Democrat. So they're always going to want all of the votes go to the winner. So they take all of our votes and they give them to the winner. Maine just this year changed to, golly, I can't remember all the details of their system, but they went to where it's not winner take all.
That's what I like the way Maine did it, the way you were talking about.
Oh, actually, no, I lied. No, Maine didn't do that. Maine did ranked choice voting.
That's what I was saying.
Right.
Yeah,
Maine did ranked choice voting,
that's what
which
I
is
like.
different, right?
Yeah.
I do like ranked choice voting, but there was Nebraska has like some of their votes are based on districts. There might be one other state, maybe New Hampshire or something like that, where it's like some of the votes are counted separately. And so all the electoral votes don't necessarily go to the same candidate,
Right.
but almost all the states do. And I don't know. I mean, if we did it so it's proportional, it would give, what it would probably do realistically is we would have some counties, we'd have some areas where we'd have a growing support for third parties, and they would realize that they could actually vote for their candidate, and it would probably knock it down to where nobody got a majority, to where nobody got over the 270 electoral votes necessary to win the presidency, and which would send it to Congress to decide who the president and vice president are.
Has that ever happened?
It's happened twice, I want to say. It's happened at least once.
A long time ago.
A long time ago. Yeah, I can't remember which president it was. But it's happened at least once or twice where it was decided in Congress. And the way that they do that is the House of Representatives picks the president and the Senate picks the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So you could, like, in our current, the way it is set up, right? So we would have maybe like Biden as president and Trump as vice president or something like that.
I just, the thing that stands out to me, and it's huge, is the difference in votes in areas and states. And that just, to me, it drives me nuts just seeing LA and New York City and just decide who wins. Like,
but that's the point of the Electoral College, is that they don't.
Yeah.
And here's, I mean, you want to talk about why they don't actually decide who wins. New York always votes for a Democrat. California always votes for a Democrat. Right. They don't have anything to do with who wins.
I just don't.
They just swing it toward the Democrats.
Isn't there something we can find out why the hell everyone in city votes Democrat and everyone else wants Republican? Like, when you look at the map, it's like, I looked at this map and it just was like blue and red. Like,
right.
And it was like, dude, everyone's red besides ching, 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 like little dots here and there. And it's shocking.
Well, I've always said, people always think, oh, there's red states and blue states. There's the Bible Belt. There's whatever. There's not. There's none of that. No. There's
red
rural,
regions, blue regions.
There's rural and urban.
Yeah.
That's what it is. There's rural and urban. And in urban areas, they have a certain set of problems that they're trying to find a way to solve. And in rural areas, we have different set of problems that we're trying to solve, and they're completely different. There's a little bit of overlap, but not very much. You look at homelessness in the cities, and there's more of it, but they also have
Democrat cities.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah. All cities, right?
Well, so some.
Name a city that's not Democrat.
Like you're saying.
I'm sure there is.
Name a city that's not Democrat.
Sure, like what?
There aren't any.
It is weird.
San Antonio's Republican, right? Isn't it?
Like you said, though, like just all these like big cities, like what makes them Democrat? Like why?
It's like, well, that's what Phil said, is like they have a different set of problems, which makes sense.
So what I'm saying is, if you go to the city and you look at the homelessness population, you've got, there's more of them. They have shelters. They have soup kitchens. They have whatever, a million resources. You come to Penn Yan and you look at homelessness, we've got probably 90 to 100 homeless people in Penn Yan. You don't really see them. Yeah.
I've only seen like 2 on the street.
You don't really see them. Because some of them are, staying on somebody's couch. Some of them are staying in their car. There are a lot of different things that go on.
Yeah.
But they've got the living well. They've got support from some churches.
Think about the amount of homeless
But
people.
we don't have the resources here. And think of even smaller areas like where I grew up. There's no resources for those people that I'm aware of. There might be the church, and then you go down the river for a few hours. You get into like Cameron and Adrian and stuff like that. There's nothing that they don't get. They've got tarps on the roofs, and I don't know how they survive. So what I'm saying is we just have different sets of problems. They're more worried about the asshole that's cutting them off in traffic. They're more worried about like making sure that they don't have to pay $1.35 at the subway.
So if they don't like what's going on, why do they keep voting Democrat there?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. It's got to do with the way that they're talked to, I think.
100. Oh, yeah. I don't know if Dallas is Republican or not. Maybe. Yeah. Actually disregard in any city in Texas. I'm pretty sure San Antonio's Republican. I think. I know there's one city in Texas, a big city, and their homelessness and everything works pretty well. So
Yeah, because down south it's warmer out. Think about how many homeless people are in California,
there's
Texas, like compared to New York City, because it gets cold here.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was in a Democrat-run city, and things weren't the way I wanted to, I wouldn't vote Democrat. I'd probably try to vote something else.
Yeah.
So maybe see what could happen.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that, but I think the problem is that they want Republicans typically want things to be fair, and Democrats typically want to care, if that makes sense.
A little bit, because I think Republicans care as well.
But Republicans value fairness over caring, and Democrats typically value caring over fairness. So what I mean by that is Republicans are like, I want to help you. I'm probably going to give you charity, but I don't want you to like take money out of my paycheck to pay for you to not work. Meanwhile, Democrats are like, you know what? I can afford a couple bucks out of my paycheck to make sure that you're fed. And I want to make sure that you've got health care. And Republicans are like, I want to make sure that you can buy health care. And that it's tricky. Like everybody's got good intentions. They just come from a different set of values, and it takes a different way to convince them of things. So Democrats have a whole different language than Republicans do. They've got this, and I've got the language of liberty. Like I'm more worried about what makes us more free. What makes it so that you're more free to pursue the things that you want to pursue. I want to make it so that whatever you want to do with your life, that you can do it. And then we've got people who are like, oh, well, I don't want that guy getting something that's mine. I worked for that. Like I should have it. And if he works for it, he should have it, which, yeah, I get on board with that a little bit. And then you've got another group that's like, I want to make sure that they get what they need. It's just different. And if I have to take like 20 cents from everybody in the town so that I can make sure that that guy gets fed, then they want to do that instead of just inviting him over for dinner.
So when are you running for mayor?
Never.
Sounds like you do a good job.
Yeah.
It's just people have different ways of thinking, and that's okay.
I just think in a small town, you're raised, you get what you work for. So, I mean, I think that's how it works, and I think that's why it's like stuck in everyone's head.
So it's a good life lesson to live by.
That's what I'm saying. That's I agree with you.
But at the same time, Dundee being one of the most Republican towns ever, the Democrat vote there is non-existent. There's not a homeless person. There's not. If anything happens, everyone pitches in, helps somebody out, buys people. If somebody's house burns down, they take care of it. They don't ask the government for anything. People help each other out.
Yep.
In the most Republican town I've ever been in, everyone helps everyone. So, I mean, you want to talk about caring? That's as caring as it gets.
especially
So-
in the
And that's all Republicans. So they obviously care and they want fair.
yeah.
So, nobody wants to give money to people who are abusing it. People want to give money to people that actually need it.
Mhm.
That's the problem. It's not
right.
well, the way you're saying it, you're making it sound like Republicans don't want to help feed people, and they don't, but they do. But they don't want to give you money that you're going to go sell, and then
they want you to work.
go buy that brand new smartphone that you don't really need when your kids need to be fed. They'd probably rather your kids be fed than you have a $1,000 iPhone. I think that's the problem. I see it's happened. It's rampant. People getting food stamps and selling it for cash and using the cash for whatever the hell they want.
Sure. Yeah.
And
It's sad.
yeah, it is. And people do it, and kids go without food. And yeah, so that's the Republican thing is they want their money to matter. They don't want to just give it up and see these people who are on low income, low housing, they don't have food with amenities they probably shouldn't afford because they need to feed their children and have better housing and education. And that's not what they use their money for. They use it for stupid shit, really. I think that's the problem. So not everyone, Jesus, probably not. It's probably less than what I'm saying, but I've seen it in Dundee. When you're in a small town, people that are on all this stuff, and you see them walk into the store and they bring out the brand new iPhone 11, and damn well they don't have a job. They've never done anything, and where do they get this money? And they get all the assistance, free rent, free everything.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
There's
No,
a psychology too, though. There's a psychology component to it that if you were using those services, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to feel like everybody else. Like you don't want to feel like you're different just because you're using services, just because you're getting assistance. You don't, like, on one hand, obviously you're like, well, shit, I want to get out of this, so I'm going to use the money for what it's supposed to be there for.
Right.
But people complain, oh, I saw him buy steak. It's like, well, you know what? Like every once in a while you deserve a steak.
Who's complained about somebody buying meat? I've never heard anyone.
A lot
do
of
that.
people. Yeah,
I've heard
a lot of
people complain about them buying
I've seen it.
chips
I've
and
seen it a
energy
lot of
drinks
times. Yeah.
by the
Oh, sure,
freaking
sure.
buttload and all the candies. I think
Beer,
I've seen people
cigarettes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cigarettes.
I've seen people complain about that. I've never heard somebody complain about somebody getting a steak. I
Yeah.
mean, as long as somebody's getting fed, like that's all I care.
There was a bit. It was a
So-
big hubbub about it in the news like 2 years ago. There was like, oh, they shouldn't be able to. They tried to make it so that you couldn't use food stamps to buy steak.
That's silly.
You can
That
buy a
doesn't make
chicken
sense.
breast, but you can't buy a steak.
Guess which party was
It's
doing
uncalled
that.
for.
What I will say in defense of voters everywhere is that they are very well intentioned. Every voter, I think, is trying to do what they think is best. But
Not everybody.
the people who they are voting for are not doing what they say they're doing. They run on one platform, and then that's not what they're actually doing. They say, I care about the Second Amendment because they want to get that rural vote. And then they don't do anything that actually helps the Second Amendment. They say, I want to help, with homelessness. And then maybe they do some programs, maybe they don't, but it doesn't actually do anything to improve the homeless problem. There are a lot of different, like I said, voters mostly are very well intentioned. And I'm not saying that even politicians are necessarily all meaning bad things, but they're not doing what they say they're doing. They're creating problems so that they can drive wedges between people to make them more radical to support them.
Dan Crenshaw, 2024. We'll all be safe. Be good.
Dan Crenshaw.
You just want to feel safe.
Uh,
Safety
we'll-
is
we'll
is a
be
value.
good.
Yeah.
Well,
you want him to
feel,
like.
I feel pretty confident with Dan
He'll
Crenshaw.
snuggle you,
I hope so.
and you'll feel
I hope he does.
just warm and
You-
safe.
I wonder. Maybe. Well, never been snuggled by.
You
a
hear
man.
that, Dan?
Maybe. That might be interesting.
Being,
I don't want to feel sick. I don't want the government to be the source of my
No, I don't.
feeling
I
of
didn't mean
well-being.
Safe like that. Just like it's a safe bet, safe pick. Dan Crenshaw is a safe pick. He's gonna be good. He's gonna run. He's gonna win. It's gonna be nice. I'm telling you. You'll see.
I've never heard of this guy.
Check him out, man.
Yeah, Dan Crenshaw.
He's an interesting guy. He is certainly.
He's kind of getting. He's more of a forward-thinking Republican than most. He's not as conservative. He's got different views, and they're kind of starting to lean almost toward that libertarian Republican. He wants some freedoms that most Republicans are like, they can't. Maybe that's why he won't win.
Right.
Is that he's got different views. He's been in.
They like some of the freedoms.
He's been in war recently. He knows what it's like. He's but he does a podcast. He's pretty open. He's one of the most open politicians, especially Republican, because you can't get in their lives ever. So
I think people respect that though, because a lot of politicians aren't like that.
I saw a meme that said Trump 2020 because we like a little bit of freedom. And I was like, yep, a little bit. That sounds about right.
See, I don't like total freedom. I've told you.
I know you don't. No. You hate freedom. That sucks.
I don't.
I wish you liked freedom better.
No, total freedom is anarchy.
That's not total. No.
We need some we need a little structure.
Yeah. Have you ever watched The Purge?
Yeah. It's like The Purge. Yeah. Total freedom's The Purge. Yeah. Just anarchy.
Total freedom for 12 hours.
Everything.
That's not freedom either. Freedom isn't having freedom is. I'm
down for a purge.
Mean that people can do stuff to each other either. Freedom means freedom from people doing stuff to you.
Freedom is just.
It doesn't mean you can go screw with people. It doesn't. No, freedom is not that you can go like steal somebody's car or beat them up. That's not freedom.
Some people would take it like that though. Like if I have all,
but there's nobody out there that's like, oh, you know what the law is? The law is that you're free. No, they're gonna say the law is that you don't go to jail.
Don't say nobody. Come on, it's America.
All right. Well, the dumb fuck sitting at the end of the table might be like, oh, well, no, there's freedom now, so I can body slam you into your windshield. Muay Thai, whatever.
I wouldn't do that to this guy. ex-MMA.
Yeah, no, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
I wouldn't do it.
He's gonna throw a bottle of liquor at you and then. No, because that costs money.
Yeah.
I
will try my best to catch it. So that way I can drink.
But they're just gonna say, look, you're not gonna go to jail for smoking a joint.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
They're gonna say you're not gonna go to jail for injecting heroin. They're gonna say you're not gonna go to jail for providing sexual services in exchange for money.
Yes.
Whatever. Like if you're not hurting anybody, if everything that you're doing is consensual, then you should be free to do that.
And that could start to be a source of income for people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're homeless and you're ambitious.
Well, not only that, but then it takes it so that those people that are doing that anyway illegally right now, it makes them way more free because now they can, if they get assaulted by somebody,
we talked
they can
about
call
this.
the cops. Yeah.
And potentially at the end of the day, it makes like the girls safer too.
Yeah. People that are human trafficked that are brought in from Thailand, whatever, and they just want to be like, they don't want to be slaves.
Let's start taxing.
Like they can actually just go to the police instead of being afraid of the police.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That's got to be like very frightening for the girl.
Oh
like,
yeah.
More for the guy. Like I would be if I was a girl. I would be scared shitless. Because you pretty much you're going into a room with someone that you do not know who they are.
Right.
So if there was some,
but the places where it's legal,
which states?
It's a lot safer.
Which states are legal right now?
It's legal in Nevada outside of Cook County.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. It's legal. I don't know where else. It's legal in other countries.
Yeah.
And in those areas, there's testing for STDs. You can get insurance. A million different. You can call the police. You can be safe.
Now, Jesse, you're against this, right?
What?
No. Legalizing.
No. There's certain things I'm not. No, I like structure. So,
yeah.
I like a little bit of structure here and there. So there's certain things, letting people do heroin and not getting in trouble affects their children and affects their family members.
If they don't have children.
Okay. Well, then that's another person we're going to have to hire to find out. They're going to have to background check everyone that's coming in to do heroin. just seems some things are a little outrageous to me.
Yeah.
I think about
What if it's
who
just,
it affects on not only them, just because
what if they got
You-
put
you
in
think of the
rehab?
domino
What if they
effect,
got
yeah.
what if they got put in rehab instead of prison? Because being in prison
well,
certainly affects their kids a lot worse than
sounds-
rehab.
Well, yeah, that's a lot more beneficial.
and that's a lot different than allowing
Yeah.
people to do drugs legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like look at what Oregon has done is they've not made anything legal as far as hard drugs, but they've made it so that now you don't go to prison for it.
That's a little
You
better.
either get a fine or you can choose. You can either pay the fine or you can do rehab. And rehab's a hell of a lot cheaper
Yeah.
than incarceration.
Now there should be a strikeout system because you don't want people coming back and using these programs and getting nowhere and taking up spots for people that may need them. So there's a lot more to everything than it sounds easy and simple.
Yeah.
Let's legalize
It's just-
everything.
So
and
it's
be
not
okay
so
with
it's
it.
not all just about that though. Like it's about finding creative solutions to make things actually
Right.
better.
And I'm down with creative solutions.
So-
I like the idea of prison for drugs. I don't think works.
I don't
'Cause
think it
they
works
get out
either.
and they do it again, or they can get it in there. It
And
doesn't work.
and
Yeah,
if
and
it-
when they're in there, they meet all the people that can get it for them.
Yeah, but not really. No, because you'll never meet them again. But they get them in there.
They're
That's
like,
the
"Oh, go to
problem.
Jimmy. Go
Yeah,
see
no,
Jimmy."
No, they're not the same. They don't even live in the same areas.
Mm.
90% of them. No, the problem is people in prison do drugs.
People come out of
Yeah.
people go into prison clean and then they come out addicted to
Yes,
drugs.
Yes, it happens.
Isn't it unbelievable?
They
Prison's
usually
sad.
get them through the correction officers, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. A lot of
Just
them
like
will bring
crooked.
them in. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's dicey,
And that's
man.
why drug addicts in prison, if why don't we try rehab? Maybe once, twice. If it doesn't work, maybe there's a third time. You're like, you know what? You're a lost cause.
Yeah.
At this point, you don't want to be better.
Yeah.
We've given you every option. We've exhausted our options.
3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's fair. Same thing with DWI. It's like,
If you're on your third one,
but your third,
You-
fifth DWI, obviously
Yeah.
you're not trying to be safe for other people and you want to be in prison. So,
Yeah.
people make mistakes, but
yeah.
you can only make so many
Yeah.
until you're a hazard to society.
and I believe in second
So-
chances.
Yeah,
but
if they're hurting
when it-
people, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's the problem with everything being like, oh, well, you can't go to jail. It's like at some point, jail is an option. It
Well,
has
you
to
say you aren't going to go to jail the first time.
I like the rehab option though.
Yeah.
Especially you said it could be cheaper. I mean,
It's a lot cheaper.
yeah.
Well, that's a solid. I think everyone agrees with the solid option of a rehab. It's just getting government funding and programs for it
Yeah.
is tough.
Yeah.
And
There's some hardliners though that are like, we have to punish these people. We have to use it because prison's a deterrent.
I've
There are
never
people
heard
that
anyone
still
say
think a lot of people say it.
that. Never.
I've heard a lot of people say it.
Huh.
There are people who think that marijuana is a gateway drug. That like if you smoke marijuana, then you're going to be doing heroin in 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
No,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that smoke marijuana that don't do heroin.
Yeah.
They're
They're smart people.
and that don't hurt anybody. Yeah, they don't hurt anybody.
Not doing heroin, smart people.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do heroin,
Yeah,
people.
don't do heroin,
Please
kids.
don't do. But let's do education. Let's teach you why it's not a good idea to do heroin.
That's gonna be my next song. Just about not doing heroin.
Yeah, I think that's a great song.
Where would I be without heroin?
I would have a full-time job.
I could buy diapers for my baby. Where would I be without my baby? Yeah.
I like that Biggie song where in the little chorus, like, and get high, get high, get
Hmm.
high.
Who pays for the Narcan when you smack someone with it?
I
I was thinking
think
that.
we do.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that the other day.
Yeah, I think we pay for it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's-
I've told Phil this before.
they gave some guy 6 doses in Narcan in Penyan and saved his life last week.
I wonder how expensive it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
For the one getting injected, it's free though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that
Yeah.
it's probably pretty expensive because anything that the government buys usually is the prices go up.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother subject for a different day.
I was
Pharmaceutical companies in the United States.
Yeah.
I was telling
Yeah.
Phil about the EpiPens I got. It was like $400.
Yeah, I'm fucking sure, dude.
Yeah,
That shit's
it's crazy.
expensive.
For
used to be able to get 2 of them for 95
But I would
all
say
day long.
you want to talk about 6 doses of Narcan. Let's say $250 each. I mean, bam,
Yeah, dude, that's-
done. $1,500 just whack on a person who's irresponsible.
We can't
Yeah.
just have taxpayers dying though. We aren't going to be able to extort them for the next 30 years if they die.
People like that aren't paying taxes a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, we won't be able to extort other people for taxpayer money and say that we're using it to help them.
True. Right.
You have to
okay.
have
Yeah.
both sides.
Now, if you play that part, I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have 100,000 people that we need to help. We need your money for that.
Yes.
We're going to create jobs
Taxation
to minister that money.
is theft.
Wow, you said taxation is theft.
Yes, it is.
Now Jesse's on a hit list. He's on some political hit list.
That's part of some of the freedoms I like. Yeah, taxation. I don't. I want freedom. I don't want to pay taxes. Yeah. Perfect.
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's probably time for us to wrap this up. And
We got to the 2-hour mark. Wow.
Jordan, you want to perform the outro? You're ready?
I haven't wrote anything yet.
Ding 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 ding
Just
ding
just
ding
go.
ding ding ding.
You know,
Yeah.
just
It'll most likely be a banjo in the background. That sounds like a good outro.
Oh, that was a good. Yeah.
You got to edit.
Let's
it out.
end this shit show. Somebody click end broadcast, please.
It's rare.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you at the Laurentide.
Cheers, guys. Thanks again.
Thanks
ya.
for coming on, Jordan.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's fun.
Appreciate
It's awesome.
it, man.
You guys got a good thing here.